hello everybody. Can you hear me? Please tell me if you can hear me because I'm not entirely convinced. Although the captions are picking me up, so theoretically you can hear me. Welcome to stream. Welcome to the first stream of 2023. I hope all of you had a good new year and a good holiday if you were celebrating any. And yeah, I am working on figuring out what is going on because you guys can hear me. And you can hear the music theoretically. Although, can you hear the music? Yes, you can hear the music. But the sound alerts I couldn't hear. So I'm not sure, and I can't hear the music, which is weird. So I think it might be how I've kind of done the microphone a little bit. I've had this mic for a while, but I haven't used it for streaming because it picks up a lot of the echo and everything. And it's very echoey in this room. so I had figured something out that made it work. But I think the thing that's making it work in terms of not picking up the echo might be also taking away the sound from other things. So here, I'm actually gonna, you know what? I'm gonna redeem a thing. Let me do this. Let me know if you heard that. Or if, I guess, yeah. Because I can't hear it, but if you guys can hear it, then it's okay, and I can figure out the sound situation later. But if you can't hear it, then that's an issue. You didn't hear it, okay? Because I didn't hear it either. And no. All right. Okay. Let me try again. Sometimes these are ones where you just have to like turn the sound off. Oh, that you guys should have been able to hear. Or at least it looked like it. Let me know if you didn't. That second one that came through. For some reason. No? Oh, but it made a noise. Like, it showed in the audio thing for sound alerts. Okay, alright. Something is going on. There's a problem. Okay, what I might do, let me try something, and we'll see how echoey this is. And if it's too echoey, then we'll go back to the old sound system. Because I want you guys to be able to hear. Let me see. Yeah, thank you for redeeming Stretch, Mr. Gista. I didn't hear that one either, but everybody stretch. And also take a drink. And this is also a reminder to take any medications you might need to take it, whatever time of day it is for you just now. Also didn't hear it. Okay, all right, something is going on. So the thing is that the... Now I'm curious. Is that what this is? Can I? Oh. Okay. So now I can... Hang on. I can now hear myself, which is a problem. If I... Can you guys can still hear me there, right? Hopefully. And then if I do this, now I can hear the music. Okay, and theoretically... Hang on. Let me do, I'll do this one. Come on, play the thing. Is there no, there's supposed to be an alert for that, isn't there? Or does it just turn up in chat? Man, that's another thing I need to look into. All right, I'll oh no, there it goes. That's right. Thank you, Robert Skitch. Thank you guys for helping me troubleshoot the sound issues. Did you guys hear that? Because I heard that one. The correct sound channel, it was unmuted, Clara. Yeah, so, and then I muted it and unmuted it again and it didn't do anything. So, yeah. I'm gonna just do the same for like sub and follow alerts because I think that could be affected too. So basically, like, there's a thing that allows you to broadcast with the filters. There's a whole setup thing that I was trying to do, and it very clearly kind of works, but also kind of doesn't. But if you guys can hear me just fine and it's not too echoey, let me know if it's echoey. But when I was hearing myself, it sounded okay. So if that's all okay, then I think we're good now. I think. But let me know. Possibly because I changed headphones, it doesn't know what to do. Yeah, it's because, so there was a way that I was, like, if you set the input to also be an out, there's a complicated thing. It was definitely the complicated thing. It was set to the correct advanced settings. Yeah, you didn't hear it. Okay, now that's worrying. Because it says that there is stuff to hear. So that one I hear, and in OBS, it says that there is sound, in the same way that it says there's sound for the music and for my audio and everything. So I'm not sure what's going on if you guys aren't hearing that. Unless it's... Has it decided... Hang on, wait a minute. Let me try one more thing. It might be something ridiculous. Did you hear that one? You can hear. Okay. So I figured out what's wrong. That's annoying. Hello, Jossie. Hello, Robert's Kitch. I forgot to actually say hello to people. And also, thank you, Mr. Gista, for 4 months of subbing. Thank you, guys, and thank you for troubleshooting all this with me. I'm sorry, it's been a little bit silly. Yeah, so the issue was that in advanced settings, some of them weren't outputting to channel 1 in audio, basically. So they all have to output to channel 1 in order to... Now the subtext isn't running. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Here, let me... Okay, hang on. Let me see if it has done something weird. What was that one? Oh, thank you, Jossie, for 4 months. Just in time to watch me fix it. Well... We'll see. Let me try the captions again. I've been turning them on and then they seem to turn off, and then I turn them back on and they seem to turn off, so I'm not sure. It seems like they're confused about which mic to use, but there's only one mic that they can use. And they were working before, which is annoying. So now I'm not sure what's happening. Did it? I don't know. I'm not sure. With the captions, I might, if that's okay, I might figure that out before next stream, just because that is something that I'm really not familiar with, and I think it's gonna require a certain amount of troubleshooting. I do want to be able to have captions that work. Why this one is not really working, I don't know. I mean, my guess is... I don't know. Let me go... I can't go there. Okay. Here. What about that? Does this work? Will you do captions? No, I think I need to do something with the captions that's a little bit more involved, so I'm gonna not worry about them today if that's okay. I definitely plan on having captions. Also, let me know if my audio is too loud or something. Please let me know, or if it's too quiet somehow. Also let me know that, just in case. Take the time for captions later, you can already hear me. Okay, good. Excellent. I'm glad that you can hear me, because that's, that's more than I could do at the start of stream, so that's good. Yeah, welcome to 2023 and such. I'm sorry I couldn't stream on Tuesday, but I was all ready to stream in medieval Minecraft. I was so excited, and I had everything ready to go, and then the pain in my side had been growing for like an hour, and so so I was like, well, this is kind of annoying, but I'll take painkillers and it'll be fine. And then I took the painkillers and like called it basically on the Discord and everything and on Twitter, and was like, I shouldn't stream today because the painkillers are gonna make it difficult to form complete sentences, and you all already know how much difficulty I have forming complete sentences. So I canceled. And then over the course of the next hour, the pain kept getting worse, and basically felt like my side was trying to exit my body. There was a good like 2 hours or so where I was worried I was gonna need to go into like a doctor's office and such. It's okay, it turned out fine. But yeah, it was a really good thing I didn't stream on Tuesday, so I'm doing significantly better today. Yeah, this, I don't know if there is an end, but not an end. I mean, I don't know if there's an end either, but you know, that's a more existential sentence than I intended it to be. Yeah, insert joke about there having not been a stream since last year. I know, right? Yeah, it's louder than before, not sure if too loud. Might be peaking a bit on the mic. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So what I can do is I can bring it down slightly. How is that? Nope, that's probably still peaking a bit. Hang on. Let me bring it to there. That should be okay, hopefully. Let me know if it's not, though, because I tested this a little bit with recordings, but recordings and the stream are a little bit different, and also the settings were different, so let me know. So happy that I'm doing much better today. Yes, me too. My goodness. It was a bit ridiculous. So I'm also glad to be doing better. But yeah, let's hang on. Wait, let me actually sign into the server and do the whole sleeping thing. But let me bring you guys over. Okay. So, we're in Archaeo SMP. Let me exist in a way that you can actually see my face. We're in Archaeo SMP. I'm gonna do a little bit of base stuff today. Last time we were doing the winter village, and that is still, like, things are still happening with that, but it's, like, obviously over the holidays people slowed down because we were all with our families and things. So I'm not gonna worry about the winter village today, but what I've been wanting to do for a while, here, let me actually get over to where we are, or where we're gonna be. What I've been wanting to do for a while is something with this nether portal, so that it's not just a hole in the wall. And originally, I had an idea to basically come down with, like, bring the staircase from the bridge down to, like, a nether portal in the middle of the room, and then have all the different kind of biomes and structures of the nether portal recreated in this cave here. So that's my plan. We're not doing all of it today because, my goodness, that's a lot to get done in 2 hours. And it's probably not gonna be done in 2. You guys know me, I have too many donut tangents for that to get done in 2 hours. But the idea is that the nether portal is then gonna go in the middle. So, like, there's gonna be a side here, and a side there, and a side there, and over there, and it's gonna be like a little gazebo thing of nether portals. That's my thought. That's what I wanna do. So, yeah. So, like, gazebo portal thing. This is just, oh, well, this had been a whole bunch of stone, and then I decided to move the nether building materials over here. The barrel that's over there is just a bunch of stone, because I had to dig all this out. It was significantly smaller earlier this morning. I spent a couple hours just digging it out. And then, yeah, so, like, a crimson forest over here, and then a warped one over there, and a bastion, and a fortress, and like a nether wastes over here. I'm not entirely sure where I want to put the nether wastes, but I think I'll put it here because then it can go into a lava lake that then goes into a basalt delta, which would be kind of cool. And then, like, soul sand valleys over here. That's my idea. again, we're not going to get all of this done today, especially because I don't have that many nether bricks. So obviously I'm not building a bastion right this instant because I don't have the nether bricks. I should also probably make sure I have armor on because we all know how clumsy I get in Minecraft. Yeah, so that's my thought. I've been slowly gathering lava, and by slowly I mean I've gotten like 4, not that many buckets worth. But thankfully there are more buckets that are ready just now. I still only have the 2 because I haven't built this room, and I need to build this room. But there's so many things to build. And this bridge, I'm gonna turn it into a 3 wide bridge, so this is gonna be the middle actually, and I'm just gonna make it slightly wider so that it works with the 3 wide nether portal in the middle. Nether brick or blackstone? Well, both. I don't have it, like, I mean, I have 15 nether bricks that are not in a block form yet for the not the bastion, for the fortress. And then the blackstone will be for the bastion part. But I also kind of want to get some gilded blackstone as well, just because it would be nice to have. So, yeah, that's my plan. But I'm hoping to at least get a little bit of this done today, because that would be cool. And it's been it's been sitting behind my nether portal as just this open cavern for a while. Not as big as it is just now because I did this today, but it's still been a fairly large open cavern behind my nether portal for like months. Months and months. So that's what I'm thinking. I think I probably have enough, like I have a ton of basalt. I don't have huge amounts of lava. I have 7 buckets at the moment, but like the lava can happen. I'm feeling like I could probably do the basalt delta, certainly the nether wastes. I also went and got some more, I mean, I don't have huge amounts of gold ore, but I went and got a bunch more of nether quartz ore so that I could stick it around. And I was thinking of having like lava coming from one side of the nether wastes and then just falling into the lava lake, which could be cool. And now I'm debating bringing striders over into the overworld and putting them in my lava lake over here, because actually that would be pretty cute. So that might happen. Not on stream today, because I don't that's a lot, and I don't have it yet, but I have so many saddles, so it's a possibility, is all I'm saying, and I'm liking that it's a possibility. So maybe what I'll do is start like with the nether wastes, because I feel like that's the easiest to build and it gets rid of a lot of my nether rack, which is mostly why I want to have a section that's nether wastes, because my goodness, I have so much nether rack and I don't, nobody needs that much, and nobody needs that much, basically. So yeah, that's my plan for today, and basically see how far we get. I'm not entirely sure, and like as per usual, I'm gonna be testing things, and you guys can have opinions. I mean, you can have opinions even when I'm not testing things. Opinions are welcome. But yeah, I don't know. That's my thought for stream today. Yeah, I've been doing a lot, like over the holidays. I've been doing a lot of thinking about how I structure things in the channel. Not necessarily, I mean, both on Twitch and on YouTube. So like one of the things that I kind of mentioned, I think in one of my YouTube updates, is that, is it the YouTube update? I've mentioned it somewhere. It might not be the YouTube update. But one of the things I've mentioned is that I'm kind of thinking of the YouTube videos a little bit differently. The videos where I'm making like archaeological builds take a while. They take a really long time, in part because I have to sift through archaeological excavation reports. And a lot of the time, if it's like excavation reports from the 1940s, they're not super detailed, or they're super detailed about stuff that I can't build in Minecraft, so it doesn't matter for what I'm doing. Obviously it matters for archaeology, but or it's, yeah, it can just be, oh, what happened here? Wait a minute. Why is this not in the center? How did I do this wrong? I checked it though. Wait, that's correct. And that's in the center. Wait. Does this need to move down one? Is that the situation? Is that all it is? Maybe. I was so proud of myself because I dug out the circle and I did it right the first time. Like I didn't screw it up like I did on Medieval Minecraft, and I was so proud of myself, and I was like, nobody's gonna believe me that I did this on the first time because there's no video evidence of it. But I did it the first time and I was all proud of myself, and now something is wrong. Okay. I think it's just that this needs to move down. I think it's just that this needs to move down one. Hopefully. Oh, and actually, this is gonna be Nether portal anyway, so that's not there. Yeah. Right? And then this... Yeah. This becomes stone, I think. Let's do this and see if this fixes it. Because like this is gonna be like on the, I mean it's 7 across, so this is gonna be on the 4. I'm just gonna have everything take the line to the right basically. So this line is the Nether Wastes, and then this one will be the Crimson Forest, and that one will be the not the Bastion, the Fortress. I keep doing that. But I thought I had actually gotten it right. So that means that this line is all off, isn't it? It should be on the other side. Okay, all right. Let's fix this before I get confused again. But it can't be that. Oh no, yeah, because that'll be that. I see, I understand. All right, okay, fine. Fine. That's fine. I should have realized when these lined up kind of weirdly with this, because they're supposed to line up with this corner, and I just apparently didn't notice it all. So, you can tell I have been busy with things this morning while also not necessarily checking my work. This is welcome to building with Archaeo plays. Sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Alright. It's fixable, is the good news. That is not something I should have dug out, though, and I need to sleep. I really should probably bring a bed over here, probably, because it takes a while to get from here to my bed, and it's harder to notice that it's getting dark because I'm in a cave. It happens. Symmetry is a pain sometimes. I know, right? Especially circles in Minecraft, because squares, well, squares or rectangles, you can kind of see relatively easy. You can see it easier at the very least. But I always find with circles, it's like I don't know until I've finished the circle whether I've done it correctly. Which was fun in a world. I had a world where I was, oh, there's a creeper there. I have learned that if I run into this area quickly and just stay there, then they don't follow me because they can't, because there's a Nether portal. So at least that's my strategy. They end up in the Nether. Well, hopefully there aren't a whole bunch of creepers in the Nether just waiting for me. I don't think there are, but you know, if any time in the next few days I get blown up by a creeper, everybody else online will know why. I don't think they've gone that way, though. Oh, no, this is netherrack. Hang on, wait a minute. This will be netherrack. Okay. Yes. That's correct, right? It's all good. It's all good. Oh, except these ones are now... Hang on. Right. That's obvious. Yeah. That makes sense. That was the whole reason that I had to resolve this in the first place, was that those were off by 1. Okay, so this one is the Soul Sand Valley. At least for now. Soul Sand Valley. Oops, sold sand. There we go. And then, yeah, that's fine. Oh, right, that one doesn't need to move over because I figured it out earlier. All right, okay, all right. It's going. We're doing it. Things are happening somewhere. Here, let's get some torches around. I want this to kind of be like building up one of those like big cliff kind of areas on in the Nether that you get in Nether wastes that are super worrying to come across, because then you're sitting there like, oh gosh, am I about to fall to my death? So I want one of those, but I also want it to kind of be up over here so that the lava can fall into that triangle. I was gonna say quadrant, but it's not a quadrant if there are 8 of them, right? It doesn't count as... Do quadrants have to come in 4s? Is that a thing? Or am I overcomplicating things? I'm probably overcomplicating things. Reminds you of those Reddit posts where someone asks why there are creepers in the Nether, and the answer is that they just wandered into their unprotected Nether portal. Yes. Octant. Hey, MythBT, it's been a while. Well, I suppose it's been a while since you've been in chat. You may have been lurking this whole time. But welcome. It's good to see you again. Yeah. Octant. We'll go with that. This octant. The other thing is that it has to look weird, because Nether wastes are always a little bit like, you look at the formation of the Nether waste and wonder how in the world it happened that way, with world gen, because it's Minecraft world gen. so I do want it. I want it to kind of be fully up, like along the wall, just because I don't want us having stone in places, if that makes sense. If I can avoid it, hopefully. That's my goal. So that it actually looks like a Nether. Wasn't on much during the holidays. Yeah, that makes sense. Ad break. Don't worry, you're not missing anything. Okay, so I'm thinking... Ooh, so there are a couple options here. I could do like a big pillar up here, and the lava falls down from kind of like this side from the pillar, like a hole in the pillar. Or I could do one of the weird Nether waste shelves that you get. And, oh, right, I forgot there was an ad break. So, there are a couple options here. Oops, hang on. Can I? There we go. One of the things that could happen is having like a pillar like this over on this side, so that like there's a hole, say like right here in the pillar, and there's just lava pouring out of it into the lava lake that will be here. Or I could make one of those like weird shelves that you get in the Nether, where you've got like the multi-layer thing, and then it's like a lava pool from the top shelf of the Nether waste that then falls into the lava lake. I feel like that could be a cool possibility. I might try that out and see what happens. As is my general style of building. Also, I'm so used to building in creative. I was doing a lot of creative building, and I'm so used to building in creative now that my brain is like, why can't I fly? It's like, because it's survival. Yeah, creative building is so much nicer. I mean, I like survival building as well. It's a different beast. Creative is a different beast. The flight is nice. We are gonna do the dragon fight soon. I know I keep saying that, but we're actually going to. Like, hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so, because number one, I want wings, and number two, I want shulker boxes. So we're gonna do the dragon fight soon, because I can't be the only person who wants wings and shulker boxes. There's like, I'm pretty sure everybody wants wings and shulker boxes. I don't know if I want this to be a shelf the whole way, because we could do like a weird, you know how the Nether does the weird thing of like kind of building on itself, and then you end up on a shelf. Oh, can't do that. Hang on. Okay. Do that, and then maybe take this one off. And if I do... That kind of works, right? I suppose... I want to get rid of my netherrack, so let's fill all this in with netherrack, because I have 2 chests full of netherrack, and I don't need that much, because nobody needs that much. And this is still all netherrack from digging out the nether tunnels. Oh wait, this was gonna be a bit of a shelf. Hang on. I didn't want all of it up there. I remember what my idea was 5 minutes ago, I promise. I know what I'm doing sometimes. Yeah, so maybe if this comes up like that. There we go. And then we've got this kind of weird... Nope, hang on. Do this. Oh, hey, a Chuchar Pops. Achuchar Pops. I know I've just butchered your name, your username, but welcome in. You do have audio. Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. I am going to be, the captions started working today and then they promptly stopped working. So I need to find, I need to find some stuff. You found my YouTube from Azuma's tweet. Oh, I didn't even know that Azuma tweeted. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for finding my videos. I didn't realize. I need to go and find that then, and thank him for doing that, because that's fantastic. Yeah, I enjoyed making the Geophys video about the sculk catalysts everywhere because those were fun, and the screaming goat in a minecart, just like, I feel like that is the peak of my YouTube creativity for 2022, is the screaming goat in a minecart to demonstrate geophysical survey in Minecraft, because I don't think there's really like anything there. At least you think it was a tweet. May have been his video. Oh, okay. I'll check. I know that Pix retweeted my tweet. So I know a lot of people found it through that. But I'll have a look. That's really cool. I haven't... There's so many hermits that I don't have a chance to keep up with all of them all at once. And so Azuma's was one this past week or so where I was like, I will get to these. But, oh, you confused him with Pix. Okay, cool. Cool. That also is fine and makes perfect sense. Yeah, so Pix and I approached Pix over the summer, because I'm an archaeologist, as you all know, and we were doing an Archaeo gaming conference, a digital Archaeo gaming academic thing, basically, and people were wanting, the group was wanting presentations for it, and Pix had literally just come out with his first Empire's SMP video, being like, I'm an archaeologist this season, and I was like, oh, hey, you're an archaeologist. Do you wanna maybe talk at this archaeology conference where I'm gonna be talking about Minecraft and archaeology? And to honestly my surprise, he said yes. so we put that together and we built Petra, and we spent a while talking about Minecraft and archaeology, and it was a ton of fun. And he yeah, then I went on the spawn chunks. And he and Joel Duggan and I talked a lot about archaeology in Minecraft, especially like the proposed archaeology system. We spent a long time talking about that, and yeah, so that's where it's gone. And then what was hilarious was I was already making the video about geophysical survey when Pix started using Lightmatica to find all the sculk catalysts, and I was like, Pix, you need to stop having amazing timing. So yeah, I reached out and was like, can I borrow some of your footage? And he was like, sure. So yeah, that's how that video went. But yeah, it's really cool. And I'm glad people are enjoying the archaeology bent on, oh man, beds and sleep. And I said I needed a bed and I needed to bring a bed and I forgot. And now they're probably creepers. And One thing, if any of you are newer to the channel, one thing you'll learn very quickly is that I am very clumsy in Minecraft. I am not good at PvE. I'm not awful at PvE, but I'm not good at it. I'm just not. So I fall a lot, and I freak out when there are mobs, hostile mobs nearby, particularly creepers, because I'm a builder, and what builder likes creepers? Let's be honest. In fact, what Minecrafter likes creepers? I'm not sure any Minecrafters like creepers all that much. Oh, there's a small child chasing me. I think I can outrun them. Nope, maybe not. Oh, no. Okay, alright. I did outrun them, yay! At least it wasn't a creeper. But small children are also, in Minecraft, small children in Minecraft are also terrifying. The Spawn Chunks episode made you find me. It was a nice episode. Thank you. Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that episode. It was a good... I don't know why I'm coming into this. I don't need anything from... Oh, no, I need netherrack. I need all of the netherrack because I have way too much netherrack, so we're going to put half of it in here. And then I'm going to melt the other half of it. Melt? It doesn't really melt. I'm going to smelt... I'm going to fire the other half of it into nether bricks because, well, I could go to a fortress and mine them for the fortress element of this. I have 2 double chests worth of netherrack, and I would like to get rid of it. So I will spend the lava to smelt them. Yeah, the Spawn Chunks episode, it was like 2 or 3 hours of recording for that episode. So I don't know... I don't remember at this point, like, what were things that we maybe talked about that didn't make it in, but it was a fantastic conversation, and I loved the way the episode came out. It was just a lot of fun to do, and a lot of fun to, like, it's very, this stair. Okay, I can do this. I'm a person. I'm a functional person. That's what I meant to say. I am also a person, but, you know... Yeah. They cannot outrun the sun, so I'm good. Exactly, yes. Given the amount of creeper paraphernalia in game, you're sure that someone who is not you likes creepers. That's true. There is a lot of creeper-based things. I think if you're somebody who enjoys pranking people, then creepers are definitely, like, up there on top ways to prank your friends on a server. I am just real bad at... I probably wouldn't want to prank anybody, because knowing how clumsy I am in Minecraft, I would probably suffer more than they would, just in setting up the prank. So yeah, I know my limits. Or at least I can pretend to recognize them sometimes. You heard Pix mention a couple times in the stream, didn't start following until after the Spawn Chunks episode. Oh wow, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, it's been really cool to chat with him and Joel, and that was what I was in the middle of saying before I fell down. It's interesting because all 3 of us have such different areas of expertise outside of Minecraft that like the types of things that each of us were bringing up to think about were totally different to what the rest of us would have thought about. So it just became this really cool conversation with a whole bunch of different ideas from different perspectives. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to record, and I'm glad that it's been so much fun for people to listen to because it was just great. Hang on, I'm a person. I know, right? There's a part of me that's like, maybe I should start one of those like quote things that people do, and then I was like, there would be too many. I feel like there would be like 6 at least every second stream, and probably way more than that. It's, yeah, I word good sometimes. You watched the video from the conference and have been here ever since. Yeah, the video from the conference was a lot of fun. You're glad I'm a person and not an AI. Me too. My goodness. Oh, good morning, Orc Boy. Welcome on in. Sorry, I'm catching up with chat, guys, because I've been semi-building and rambling at the same time. They're also one of the most recognizable Minecraft characters, so it might just be branding. Oh, the creepers. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, very, very true. Okay. I still have far too much netherrack. More than any human would ever want. You always think the creepers are like the Mickey Mouse years of Minecraft. They are. So because I was like this, and up in the top left corner, the sky looked very dark, and I was like, have I failed to recognize that it's nighttime again? But no, I'm safe. It's fine. If I really want to be authentic, you know, it would be cool. Except my portal is not just like randomly. My portal can't spawn zombie piglins anymore because like the area around my portal in the Nether is spawn proof. But it could be fun to get some zombie piglins in here. Just saying. Am I actually gonna do it? Probably not. That sounds like a lot of work. I think the Striders are the better plan for that, in all honesty. Let's do this and do like a weird... These always have such weird, like, configurations. I was gonna say organizations, and then I realized glowstone organizations sounds way too... It sounds far too, like, I don't know, structural, formal, governmental, almost, to actually work. So, yeah, I'm a functioning human today, I swear. But the good thing is, because I've had a bit of time over the holidays, I've been working on some new episodes for YouTube. So I've got a new archaeologist guide episode that I'm working on that's like a third of the way done, maybe, in the process, maybe, hopefully. And then I've got, do I want just that? No, let's do this. And then I've got some ideas for, well, I've got ideas for archaeologist guide episodes, and I've got ideas for bite-size archaeology videos, which is the series where I was talking about the geophys stuff. So the next episode for that is going to be talking about different types of survey that archaeologists do. So geophysical survey is a type of survey, but we also do things like walkover survey and field survey. Technically, I mean, it kind of has different names-ish depending on where you are, but field survey is basically like you go to a field that has been freshly plowed and you walk around and see if you can see anything in the freshly plowed soil, basically. So so there's that. And I haven't done anything for it other than come up with the idea, so it's gonna be a little while before that episode happens. But the episode for Archaeologist Guide is all about storage and storage vessels and containers and things, and the history of different storage vessels throughout time. And if anybody knows things about storage vessels, there will be a discussion of the difference between barrels and casks, and how technically barrels are a misnomer and and potentially not quite accurate in Minecraft, but also potentially actually accurate. It's a fun pedantic nomenclature thing. I'm not going to spend that much time on it, but I'm going to spend some time on it because I think it's interesting. Okay. I want the lava to go into the lava pool, but right now there's some valuable things in this area. So I feel like this is looking pretty good. I feel like the entire ceiling might end up bits of like glowstone and netherrack and such, just because. But I also want to make sure that I know what the ceilings of, like, I don't know that I've paid enough attention to the ceiling or the roof in a Crimson Forest to know what it's made of. Like, I'm assuming that it's netherrack in the forests, basically. But then like Soul Sand Valley, it's probably like soul soil or soul sand or something, right? Basalt deltas is probably basalt. See, this is the thing, is like I'm 90% sure that I know what the ceilings of these areas look like, and then my brain's like, but when did I last look at a ceiling in the Nether? That wasn't me trying to dig through a whole bunch of netherrack to get somewhere higher than where I was. So yeah. Donut tangent. Yes, so many donut tangents. The spawning comes from the portal itself. Oh, really? They can still show up? They have never showed up for me in here. So maybe once it's on the ground, they'll start showing up. That would be nice. I thought it must have been spawning, like, I thought it must have been coming through the portal because they never turned up once I spawn-proofed the portal. You support Glowstone's efforts to unionize. Yes. Basalt deltas have basalt. Yeah. That's what I assumed. So yeah, the ceiling will get interesting. I'm not necessarily gonna do the ceiling today. I don't know. I'm gonna do whichever bits of this I am capable of doing today. That's the best way to phrase it. It's not a great way to phrase it, but it works, I think. And Blackstone, yes. And I do still have some Blackstone. I've got some in here, not huge amounts, but I have some. And then I think I still have some. I've been sparing with my Blackstone because it's my favorite block when I get to building creative. Because it's so pretty and it has so many different styles and I just like it. So yeah. So I keep Blackstone around because you can't really get much of it outside of the Nether. And yeah. That was perfectly timed sleeping. I'm impressed with that perfectly timed. I was gonna say nap. I guess it's not a nap if you sleep overnight, is it? But you know, it works. Everything, stuff works. I'm gonna get some planks. Ooh. This is the thing now, so like, because we're doing this thing where we're tracking what I use, I now, when I see ones that are named, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't use that for something that's just like building a chest or something. But of course I should absolutely use it for something like that because like, why shy away from something just because it's named? But that, like, my brain does that every time. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't use those and I should use these instead. So anyway, we're gonna use these and build a double chest and it's gonna be fine. And that's where 16 planks from storage, the first storage building I made, end up. Oh, actually, those, because this was the first storage building, so those would have come from this, right? Because when I first built it, we just used the jungle planks, and I didn't have the acacia as like an accent bit in the wall. So some of the 16 came from that original build, which was way back in like the 3rd or 4th stream that we did from this server. It was not far into the series. So that's fun. Now they're chests. We've got archaeological materials. Well, they're not archaeological. It's, you know what I mean. They're in the chest. I'm a functioning human. Okay, let me put some of this away so that I can just transfer some of this stuff. I know I'm gonna put it right back, but I need to at least transfer some of this stone. Why I'm continuing to hoard all of my stone is an excellent question, but I feel part of it is that the Nether tunnels need, like, decorated, and I feel like there's gonna be you always need stone for something, basically, and I don't trust myself to get rid of stone. I don't know, I'm a hoarder in Minecraft. I like to keep everything, except for netherrack, which I keep all of and then I try to get rid of as much as I can, and the problem could be resolved a lot faster if I just didn't keep all of the netherrack. You were thinking about how much you look at ceilings the other day? Oh really? You were watching a YouTube video about how in the US they used to have kiddie monorails that ran along the ceilings of department stores at Christmas? And you were surprised there was enough room. I mean, that sounds both amazing and incredibly dangerous. But I suppose, like, there were things, so many things that people used to do with children, and buildings. Like, because there's, oh, sorry. Have you ever seen, like, the baby cages that people would hang out of their windows in cities? And then they would put their baby in them. Like, it would hang out the window similar to, like, an air conditioner does. And they would put their baby in them, and so their baby could get fresh air. But they would be, like, 10 stories up. And I look at those and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I would not have trusted that with my child. No, not at all. As in trains or rides. Oh yeah, a link to the video in Discord. You'd think probably people who have nostalgia for it are people who will get the most out of the video. That'll be interesting. Yeah, and just for, I think it's been stuck in there before. But there is the Discord for anybody who isn't part of the Discord and would like to be. There's no pressure to join the Discord, but if you want to, we're there. We talk about archaeology and stuff. It's been a little quiet over the holiday period because I have been obviously with family, and then also holidays as a chronically ill person can be very hectic and tiring to a degree. So I got back from the holiday at my family. It was great. We saw my nephew, and he's adorable. And he walks around. He's young, like very young. And at the moment, he walks around handing you stuff and saying "ta," which is a Scottish way of saying thank you. So he just hands you something and goes "thank you," and then he walks away. So it's, yeah, he's very cute. So we were seeing a whole bunch of people, but then we got home from that and my body was like, okay, we're done for the next week. And I was like, oh, right, okay, I guess we are. So yeah. Cool, it's been posted in the Discord. I will check that out after the stream. That sounds really cool. Yes, small children are adorable. Let's be real. Small children are adorable. Okay, Lava Lake, it's gonna be understandable what this is as soon as it happens. The downside is that this is gonna be the basalt delta. So maybe what I'll do for now is line this line with basalt, just because it's gonna be basalt delta on this side regardless. Oh right, and then there's also the water. Does the water do that over here? It does, doesn't it? Okay, all right. Well, we will have to fix that. Oh gosh, I know what I'm doing. I'm a person, I swear. Okay. There. I'm so good at this, you guys. I know what I'm doing. All right, okay, there we go. Okay, and this I'm just gonna turn into a what am I saying? This I'm just gonna turn into a lava lake. I don't have huge amounts of lava at the moment, but it'll slowly get populated with lava. I probably should. Hang on, this I'm just gonna do that for, and I'm just gonna. Because this is gonna be portal here, but because it's not a portal yet, I'll just leave it there. I could, I don't want, yeah. I'll put obsidian there later, basically. I suppose I probably should have dug out this last layer. I think in my brain I was like, oh, I'll just put it over this stone, and then obviously I'm not doing that, so I probably should have just dug out this last floor layer before starting stream, but oh well, it's fine. Okay, so if we're doing lava lake, then we do want, like, netherrack on the side. A, because I will take any excuse to get rid of netherrack, and B, because I don't want it to be obviously the overworld when you're in here. I mean, like, it's still gonna be obviously the overworld because there aren't gonna be piglins everywhere, but I think if we can get, like, I don't know, I'll play around with the wall. I might alternate with, like, bastion, like, nether bricks and such, especially because nether bricks just look nicer a lot of the time than netherrack does. No offense to people who like netherrack. I just have too much of the stuff. Far too much of the stuff. Yeah, let's just line this for now. And then I can always come back and change it if I feel the need. Go away. Oh, and I never mind that bit. Hang on. There we go. Hello, Ms. Halcyon! Happy 2023! I hope you had a good new year. And enjoy the lurk. As per usual, hopefully. We're building up the nether portal area. I'm moving it to be a gazebo in the middle. And then I'm doing a bunch of different kind of biomes and structures and things on the outside. Exactly what's happening here, I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna figure it out. with the opening, because that's where this right here is where the rest of the bridge will come down, because this one's in the middle. So we'll see. I'll figure it out when I'm figuring out the bridge. Which, you know, is there's a valid question here that I don't know any of you, well, none of you have asked in the chat yet, but I think is a valid question that probably a lot of you are wondering is, do I want to be working on the bridge with lava beneath me? Because that sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. It sounds like a problem. So maybe we get this, I mean, I say bridge, it's a staircase from the bridge. Maybe we finalize the staircase before we put the lava in. I think. The downside is that the red nether brick is, it's involved. Okay, so hang on. Let's go make some nether bricks. Okay, I forget that I can't always jump in here. I run into ceilings. I just like sprinting and jumping. I can't put netherrack in a blast furnace, can I? No. Okay. All right. Fine. You know what? Let me go get some more and just get a whole bunch smelting. And then I will... Is it? Yeah. I will sleep. That should be fine. Let me sleep just now, actually. Oops. Okay. Slightly too early on the sleeping, but it works. Okay. Let's smelt some nether bricks. And then maybe what I'll do is work on one of the forest sections and then switch back to the lava lake once we've got some nether bricks that can oh, hang on. Let's this is, you know, I'm a functional human, I swear. Let's do, you know what? Let's do, why is the iron in there? Iron doesn't make any sense in there. The iron should be in here. Let's get our priorities straight of what goes in which thing. All right, there's so much stone. Why am I smelting so much stone? Actually, because I'm gonna use lava. Let's do this and that and this and that and this. Yeah, I'll use 2 of my lava buckets and then we'll get them back. We'll get more lava. We'll see if more lava has actually done anything. Ad break. Lava would be the last thing you would put in because... Oh, you thought of it and decided not to question it. You can lose a life or items in it. Yeah, that's what I was realizing there. Is that I don't know that I want to put the lava in. But I also want to put the lava in because it'll look cool, but at the same time, yeah, let's not lose half of the building supplies to the lava. The other thing is that I need to... Back already! Oh, that's nice! What am I saying? One potential issue putting the lava here is that if you're not careful walking down the bridge, you could just fall into lava. But you know, it's fine. We have keep inventory on, it's good. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Okay, so let's not worry about the lava so much just yet. And let me also get rid of stuff that is in my inventory and taking up space. And let me eat these cookies so that they can also not take up space in my inventory. I still have so many cookies, but I do also have steak because I needed some leather, and I'm very sorry for anyone who is attached to some of our cows. I needed leather. Let's do the Crimson Forest. Let's do this, and then we have some of this. I don't have huge amounts of the weeping vines, and what I'm probably gonna do is like try and get a tree to grow. But if it ends up looking weird or something, I won't worry about it. Do I have enough? I probably don't have enough bone meal on me to do this, but that's fine. we can always do this with more. I have so much bone meal in my base, so it'll be fine. Let's swap this out for Crimson Forest stuff. I also should make it like this doesn't need to be like the same height. It doesn't all have to be on this level, basically. Oh, yep. I saw that happen as I clicked the button, but it was too late. Yeah, I'm just thinking it could have multiple levels, especially with like the fortress and everything. So, where is it? I only have 26 of these, which is not nearly enough, but that's fine. It'll be fine. Oh, did I never fill? Hang on, wait a minute. Did I never fill in this side over here? Because that's... Or did I just mine that for no real reason? No, I think I never filled it in. Either way, it's resolved now. The last time you died to lava was when you had your old potato. It got to the point that when you were playing Minecraft, sometimes directional inputs would get stuck, and that's how your computer managed... Oh no! That's so sad. That's so sad. My computer just now, my computer is fine, but what am I saying? The space bar will stick or like won't press all the way down. And I have tried fixing it a few times and it continues to do that, which is worrying when you're playing Minecraft and, you know, it's a situation where you need to jump quickly multiple times. It becomes an issue. So yeah, that's what my computer has been doing. Here, let me do this. So we'll do netherrack for the rest of this. We'll figure out what kind of thing I'm trying to go for, and then I'll bone meal anything that ends up being visible. I'll bone meal in this side. Let's see. This is also... I should have stacked up with this, but that's fine. It's all good. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. It's all good. All right. I'm gonna leave that up there. Okay, right. Here we go. Just using all of the netherrack today. Yeah, I suppose that becomes an issue of like these walls. Unless I want the entire wall to be netherrack, which I don't really. Because that's a lot. What I might do is get enough crimson wood, like enough crimson logs, to be the wall. Because when I finally have shaders again, when I finally actually look at sodium and such, I think having a wall of the non-stripped crimson stem would look really cool in the backdrop of the Crimson Forest biome, and the same with the Warped Forest. I think I like that idea. Okay, I'm probably gonna do that. So, if I'm gonna do that, then I don't really need this last bit here. Just because it doesn't matter. It's gonna be crimson stem. Like, it's either gonna be crimson stem or netherrack. It's not gonna stay this, I think, if a tree is on it. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. So, let's do this. Okay, hang on. Let's do like... This is also, by the way, this is if you happened to not be familiar with how to make more of the various netherracks for the biomes. If you have one of them and then you just bone meal a square next to it, a square of netherrack next to it, it'll turn it into that biome's netherrack stuff, whatever it's called. What is it called? I don't have more in there, but I have some blue stuff. Warped nylium, so crimson nylium, that'll be it. That's how you get crimson nylium, is you bone meal. Let me see. Okay, I need more bone meal, actually. Let me get more bone meal first. We'll go up this way. Over to the area that's like the storage for my shops, where I still haven't put bone meal in a shop. Don't worry about it, it's gonna happen eventually. It's probably gonna happen this week, actually, because that's silly how long it's taken for me to build up the Adventurers Guild, to finish building it. It's like so completely nearly done. Completely nearly done. I can word good today. Yep. I can definitely word good today. Yeah. What am I doing? I'm getting bone meal. Let's grab this. And then, let's also build this up. Nope, hang on. Yeah, let's maybe do that. Okay. There we go. And I don't think... Oh, right. I love how I'm like, bone meal one that's next to it, and then several times during this I have failed to bone meal the one that's next to it. But I'm pretty sure if I then do this... Oh no, it does stay. I thought it went away at a certain point. Okay, well maybe we will make it that then. Let's do this. Worst comes to worst, it's a waste of a few bone meal, which again, I have loads of, so it's fine. Although those ones I didn't need a bone meal. It does go away eventually. That's what I thought. That's fine. It's like 6 bone meal. It's all good. All right, let's do maybe like here. Do you want to grow? Yes, cool. Okay. And then we could do another one maybe here. Right there. And do... Oh, I need to sleep. Okay, that's cool. I'm liking that. Hang on. Let's get up. Yeah. I think that could be really cool with the crimson wood in the background. Let me go sleep before creepers arrive. Just because I don't want creepers blowing things up. I'm always worried that a creeper is going to blow up my frog pond, and that would make me so sad. The rest of it I could figure out, but the frog pond would probably also result in frog and or axolotl death, and I would be so sad. It won't stay forever. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. That's fine. What am I doing? Let's see what I'm doing. There might be a certain amount of like farming crimson wood and warped wood. I have a certain amount of warped wood, but the crimson wood I used a lot of for something. I forget which. Did I? Or maybe I just didn't farm it in the first place. I might not have farmed it in the first place. I am also going to put a little bit more of the shroom lights around because I like them. And this one only spawned with like 2, and it's the tallest... Oh, hang on. Such a tall tree. There we go. I kind of want to put one on the outside, but the shroom lights don't really tend to spawn on the outside of the trees, so I probably won't do that. But let's do... Here, let's do... Oh, I can't get up that high. What am I doing? There we go. It's fine. I thought this through. Definitely, totally, 100%. I'm a functional human, I swear. Sometimes, maybe. I have a PhD, I promise. It's not a PhD in building crimson wood trees, though, so that's probably where I went wrong, in all honesty. Okay. It's not all crimson wood in the back, but Yeah, I think that's gonna look cool with the crimson wood in the background. And if we do a bit of like this around and the little, and again, like I know I could bone meal stuff, but I also kind of want to place stuff in places too. Oh, can you not? They're only on the base. All right, that makes sense. I should have remembered that. Do that. Do these grow if I don't trim them? Do I need to trim them with... Can you trim them with shears? Do I need to trim them with shears? You can trim them with shears. All right, let's do that. And then... Oh no, I've just got one more. Okay, all right, that's fine. That is fine. There we go. And then if we do... Oh no, not there. Do a little bit there, maybe some there, and then get some mushrooms around, which I know are technically called fungus, but I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go there, but that's fine. I have loads. It's fine. But mushroom and fungus are basically the same thing, right? I'm not a botanist, so don't quote me on that. If botany is the study of plants, fungi aren't plants. So what's the name for someone who studies fungi? That's how you typically farm them. You have them somewhere and then break off the vines every so often. Yeah, I figured they probably work the same as a mycologist. Oh, that's cool. That also makes perfect sense. In terms of root words and such. Yeah, I am not a mycologist either. I am not up on my fungi, which is a shame because fungi are pretty cool. Okay. I feel like that Crimson Forest finished really quickly, like faster than I thought it would. And there we go, Exhibit A on how clumsy I am in Minecraft, just walking off the side of a staircase. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, I'll get more crimson wood in there. Maybe not just now. I'll do the warped one, and then maybe we'll do Basalt Delta, and then... Basalt Delta is this one. We could probably... Can I do soul sand? Ooh, I'm not seeing soul sand in here. I know I have soul sand. I don't know if I have enough soul sand to do that portion just yet. But we can put this away, which is helpful. I'm glad I didn't need to build trees by hand. I wouldn't have minded terribly, but it is a complicated thing. So mushrooms are kind of the fruiting body of fungi. Oh, right. Okay. Most of the fungi is made up of the mycelium, which makes a lot of sense. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. That's cool. That's very cool. See, you learn something new every day. I do need more netherrack than probably 54. Well, do I? I don't know. We'll see. Let's do the warped forest. There have been some interesting discussions online of, because there are a lot of people who have a lot of opinions about archaeology, and given certain recent Netflix series, there are a lot of people with a lot of opinions about archaeology. There's one of the arguments that people have been making is that archaeology isn't science. So, so the last couple weeks, my entire archaeology-based social media has just been people trying to argue that basically, like, archaeology is a science. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is also one of the humanities, but that doesn't stop it being a science. so it's both, is what archaeology gets to do, and it's just been kind of funny watching. Well, funny in a potentially depressing way. Watching people trying to argue that archaeology isn't a science. Watching non-archaeologists try to argue that archaeology isn't a science. And And then when they do agree that it's a science, a certain number of people are like, yes, it's a science, and that's why you're being paid by the government to, to hide conspiracy theories. It's like, what? You can't have it both ways. You can't try to discredit it and then also say, oh, well, maybe it is credible, except now you're being paid by the government. Like, what? Which government? Which government pays archaeologists? That's what I want to know. Which government is spending the big bucks on archaeologists? Because I haven't met them yet. Anyway. What the heck? Yeah. Things must be mutually exclusive and fit into neat boxes. Exactly. Yes. Well, what's hilarious is that every time, not every time, but a lot of people, the things that they know about archaeology is the stuff that's like radiocarbon dating. And I really want the people who are saying that archaeology isn't scientific or doesn't have any science in it, I really want them to tell me what they think radiocarbon dating is. Just cuz, or like DNA analysis of the past, or like chemical analysis of, you know, ancient foodstuffs. There's so much stuff that is science-based, just like based in hard sciences where people can't refute that it's a science. And that's before we get into the whole idea that obviously science is a methodology and not a specific topic or something. So, so long as you're following the scientific method, which archaeology does in droves, you're a science. It doesn't need to be a science as defined by, you know, a particular person. It's literally just the method that you use. The scientific method is helpful. Yeah. Anyway. It's been a fun, as you can imagine, it's been a fun holiday on Twitter for archaeologists. Clearly it's magic. There we go. Archaeology is magic. There are lots of songs on the radio, therefore radiocarbon dating must be an art. Yes. I like that. That's good. There will be a bite-sized archaeology video on radiocarbon dating, and it's going to be really interesting to try and represent that in Minecraft. I'm not sure it's possible. But there will be a video on it, even if it's not possible. So, you know, we're gonna see. Okay, let's do a tree. Can I do one there? Will you spawn there for me? Oh. Thank you, I guess. Thank you for smacking me. And then if we do one like here, could I potentially get 3? This is probably that. Is there a tree sticking out of the top of this? So far, no. I guess I haven't dug this high. Oh, well there is that tree sticking out of the top. Okay, I didn't know they could do that. Did you guys know they could do that? What? What? How? Normal trees can't do that. I don't think. I've never seen a regular tree do that. Okay, let's sleep before we ponder how nether trees function with solid blocks like dirt. What? You did? You wondered if it was going to happen? I didn't know it could do that. That's good to know. I mean, I don't mind so long as it looks good. Why am I going this way? I mean, I guess I can go this way. We do have a whole bunch of nether bricks. Let's wait on the nether bricks. I don't have enough inventory space. I need more inventory. This is why I need shulker boxes. I need more inventory space. Okay, well I didn't realize it could do that. That's wild. You've watched pigs try to clear the water out of an ocean monument by planting them under... Oh! I must have missed that. But that's cool. I think regular trees used to be able to break bedrock when they grew, but that was a long time ago. Yeah, I think wasn't there something where people used to break onto the nether roof by growing trees? But since that doesn't really work anymore, I assumed this wouldn't work. Only the nether trees. Sometimes people use them to clear water from ocean monuments. That's so cool. They ignore limits, skip over blocks, and grow up to 20-something blocks. But they don't replace blocks, right? So if I take this down, there's not going to be a whole bunch of the... I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's in a hill, but for future purposes of mine, whatever those... I don't know. I can put words together. It's I know the question I'm trying to ask. Okay, yeah, it's just stone. Okay, so it doesn't replace the blocks, it just goes through them to any available air block. They don't replace, just grow through solid blocks. That's so weird. Mushrooms are the ones you have to watch out for as they replace anything including shulkers. Oh! Really? Like if you bone meal the nylium, it'll replace blocks with the mushrooms? Or, oh no, you mean mushroom trees. That makes more sense. Yep. I'm a functional human, I swear. And it got rid of the... It's fine. It's all fine. We'll try again. Is this still part of... Does this count as this tree? It's not connected at all. I might take this out just so that there's the possibility of another... Here, let's do this. And then do that. Oops, nope. Okay, I can't jump that high, but that's fine. There we go. Just because if I can fit 3, it would be nice to fit 3. Even if that means they go through the roof. We'll see. Okay, that one didn't go through the roof. I'm like, if it hits me, it can't be tall enough to go through the roof. Probably. Okay. Let's see. Bone meal. Work. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that works. That's fine. We'll reorganize this a little. This is kind of wild. Let's do that, and then we'll do maybe this. Yeah, that'll be cool. And then I could even fit another one back here. We could make it super dense. Maybe. We'll see. It'll do something. You lost a few shulker to growing a big red mushroom once. Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. Warped fungi are perfectly functioning fungi. Hello, Legumilas. Welcome back. Welcome. I was gonna say welcome on in, and then I was like, that doesn't. I mean, like, you're still welcome on in, but but it's not the first time you've been here, certainly. So so welcome back. It's great to see you. I'm redoing. Well, I'm not redoing. I'm creating my Nether portal thing in my base. So my base is over there. This is like a hole where my Nether portal usually is, but I want to bring it down here to turn it into like a gazebo of Nether portals on each side, and then each of these octants... It still sounds like a weird word. Latin is weird. That is Latin, right? You can tell that I don't really do the Romans or the Greeks or the Egyptians. I mean, I think they're cool, but I don't study them myself. Because I sit here and I'm like, that Latin word sounds weird. Wait, that is Latin, right? And I genuinely don't know. Yeah. Turning it into different, each of the little sections is a different biome. So it's just gonna be basically like, you know, a biome cake or pie. I'm realizing that I do a lot with cake and donuts, or a lot that can be connected back to cake and donuts. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that I'm noticing it. You like cake, I see. I know, right? Apparently. I mean, I do like cake. I can't really eat... See, this is the thing, is that I can't really have cake, given my dietary restrictions. I can, but it has to be very specific cake. So usually if I'm having cake, I'm breaking my dietary restrictions, which usually I only do when it's, like, worth it. Because otherwise I'm gonna be in a lot of pain for a while. So maybe that's why. Maybe my brain is just like, we could have cake, though. It's a nether pie. Baked goods are always fun. Yes, absolutely. It's a cake that's gonna involve lava and a nether fortress and also a bastion. So, you know, and the basalt delta. I love that I'm putting both the basalt delta and the lava lake underneath directly underneath the staircase, which in part is like, you never have to walk through these things, but at the same time you're walking over them, and I don't know that that's necessarily better. Wondering about the difference between crimson fungi and the netherwort you can find in the nether fortresses. Someone thought that maybe netherwort was the domesticated variety. Oh, that would make sense, because you can make, like, these are blocks of netherwort, and that's the blocks on the tree, which granted, they don't turn back into netherwort itself, but they are full blocks of netherwort. So that could make sense, that the netherwort that you grow is the domesticated version. It is something, and I think, Robert Skitch, were you the one mentioning this, maybe? Somebody was, or maybe it was, I think it was you, on a video ages ago, the cow video, I think, that I made, that I only saw the comment of recently, that was talking, where you're like, it's weird that in Minecraft we don't have like the wild pigs and cows and chickens and sheep that are wandering around aren't the wild versions that were domesticated in the past. And I often think that similarly about like the crops and things, but at the same time, if you had to walk an 8-year-old through domestication in Minecraft, they might get very frustrated very quickly. A lot of 8-year-olds will think it's really interesting. Having taught a lot of 8-year-olds about crops and such, 8-year-olds are pretty great. But at the same time, it would be pretty complicated, I think. So it might lead to mutiny at times, which might be why they didn't do that. But yeah, I think it's a cool idea, and I think it's certainly something that hopefully they consider for like Education Edition if they haven't done it already, is putting in like stuff that's like, you know, the wild version of what is currently domesticated. That would be cool. Like, chickens don't really exist in the wild anymore, basically, right? So it's interesting to see where they came from and like how they developed and such. And I do have a video for that, but I'm not plugging my videos, I promise. But yeah, I think the cattle are interesting, especially because throughout human history, cattle have been so important for so many things. And they've been on my mind recently because of the RPG stuff I've been doing for the Picts for Carved in Stone. So for those of you who may not have heard about this, if you like things like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or 13th Age or Wanderhome or any other tabletop role-playing game of your choice, I am working on a project called Carved in Stone. Here we go. I've got a thing. Oh, there's an ad break. Okay. Well, I'll wait for the ad break to finish before I do that, because I feel like people might want to hear. Let me do this, and I promise, Legumilas, I will get into your message because that's also a fun topic. And connects to some of the things that we were talking about last time. Oh, you're back. Yeah, short ad breaks. That's helpful. Or relatively short. Maybe not. Maybe I was just oblivious for the first bit. But anyway, oh. Okay, it's fine. What am I saying? What was I saying? I was saying something. Oh yeah, so I've been working on this project. No, it's good. I've been working on this project called Carved in Stone, which is basically a Pictish setting in the late 7th century for tabletop role-playing games. So basically, once we're done, you can use our guide to play as the Picts in Dungeons and Dragons if you want to, or any other tabletop role-playing game that you wanna play as a Pict in. So late 7th century Scotland, northern/northeastern Scotland, you get to play as the Picts, and the Picts cared a lot about cattle. Like, they didn't write stuff down pretty much at all. I mean, they wrote like some names of kings to some extent, but they really didn't write that much down. But they drew a lot of cattle. They drew a lot of cattle. So, and they're like, we have a lot of cattle bones that were used, that we find in archaeological sites, but that were also used to ritually close a site. So I think I've talked to you guys before about when we were talking about Viking swords, for anybody who was here when we did that stream that devolved into Viking swords. And I was talking about how Viking swords were often ritually killed by being bent and then buried, or bent and then chucked into like a pond or a river or something. People across time and space, Earth, have also ritually closed sites in specific ways. So the Maya, for example, used to do, or well, they still do, what's called a new fire ceremony, where basically they burn. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting the thing. You can tell I'm not used to working with so much equipment in my face. But they used to burn elements of their belongings, or even the entirities of buildings, and then build the buildings again. So they would ritually close the building by burning stuff inside of it, and then they would move. The Picts would do something with animal bone, usually burnt animal bone, or often burnt animal bone. They would like put it in pits around a site that was either a site that they had used that they were leaving, or sometimes were sites that like the Iron Age groups had used, or Neolithic groups. Like the Picts went around and paid attention to the ancient sites that were in their landscape, and they would make ritual deposits at those sites that were like ritual closings of those sites in some capacity, we think. But again, they didn't write it down, so we don't know exactly what was going on. But it's stuff like, you know, there's a hill fort in Aberdeenshire-ish, northeastern Scotland, where they closed ritually closed the hill fort by taking all of the posts out, like all of the big timbers that were forming elements of buildings and walls and things, and they filled all of those in with animal bone, and then they stuck some blacksmithing tongs in the top, and they left. And so that's how we found it, was with a whole bunch of animal bone in some holes and some blacksmithing tongs stuck right in the top. So yeah, the Picts are interesting. And yeah, animal meaning in cultures is also fun. That was a donut tangent, but it's really cool. Carved in Stone is a fun project, and you should check it out if you like it, because I'm the person doing the research for it, really. So, well, there are a couple other people, but I'm the lead researcher for it. And then we've got some other people working on specific research bits, and then we have obviously writers and artists and things. So yeah, definitely check it out if you're interested. Anyway, that's a shameless plug for Carved in Stone. But yeah, and then Legumilas, you were saying that you only recently learned about why September, October, November, and December are the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th months. No, is it dark out? I heard a zombie. Are you just in a hole somewhere? Or are you... Okay, well, it is dark out. So that's a problem. If I just stay here, they can't hurt me, right? That's what I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna hide over here. It's fine. Everything is fine. So many donut tangents. By the time I stop, the sun will be up and a bunch of them will have despawned anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, so the 8th, 9th, and 12th months, but clearly named after the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th months. The Romans' calendar started in March instead of January, essentially. Well, and the other reason, too, there are multiple reasons. So, number one, yes, certain calendars started in March instead of January, and Caesar really wanted, Julius Caesar and basically Caesar, Julius, and Augustus wanted their own months. So they took them and they put them before September, October, November, and December, because that was what they decided to do. So that's where July and August come from. It's literally two Roman dudes being like, I want a month. Because they added July and August. Yeah, that was what. Yeah, it's a combination, I think. Yeah. And wait, there are wild chickens in some places. Oh, yeah, jungle fowl, which is basically the same thing. Chickens, as we know them today, don't exist in the wild, basically. But if you're looking at, say, like jungle fowl or certain breeds of chickens, like the types of chickens that you get in Southeast Asia and Polynesia. So if you've seen Moana, you know, the chicken that hey, the rooster that is very confused most of the time and like walks into walls. That's the kind of chicken that is like, there is still versions of that in the wild, and also versions that are domesticated. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna be an emperor. Yeah, that's true. Very true. Brazil can imagine places where chickens are allowed to go free range a bit. There might also be permanent escaped chickens. Yes, so long as they have gone free range and there are no major predators. So in places like Scotland, for example, that would not work out. We have so many foxes that the chickens wouldn't survive. They just wouldn't. And the same is true in a lot of North America, just between foxes and wolves and raccoons. We used to have chickens at my dad's house growing up, and we lost a bunch of chickens to raccoons. so chickens wandering around in the wild, domesticated chickens wandering in the wild, don't last long, basically, because they're slow and they're easy to catch for a lot of wild predators. But if you don't have that many wild predators, or anything that would want to eat them, then they absolutely could. What am I doing? This is a question. I was gonna build up the basalt delta. Okay, I think, oh no, wait, I need to finish building up this. That's what it was. I know what I'm a functional human. It's a thing. I can exist. It's words happen. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. In fairness to myself and also to fellow people with PhDs, I have definitely sat in many an academic office and heard people put that extent of words together. Like, it's not just me. I mean, some of it is just me being silly, but it's like the extent to which sometimes words just don't happen. Even for people who make a living putting words together is fun. It's always fun. Hello, RIG Christie, and those chickens were housed. Yes. So my dad was in chat, you guys. RIG Christie is my dad, so he could tell you all about the chickens that were eaten by raccoons and such. We lost a lot of chickens. We didn't have huge amounts of chickens, but we attempted to raise, well, we had a few for a while, and then they were eaten by raccoons, or at least one of them was eaten by a raccoon, and then we tried with some more, and then those also met a sad fate, so we stopped, basically. We stopped attempting to raise chickens. Yeah, but that's because my dad worked at the farm, and that's where I started working and doing museum education and such. So there you go. There's a little bit of Archaeoplays history for you. Let's see. Okay. Do I have anything else I want to put in the warped forest area? It is very... These two trees are very similar heights. Maybe not. I'll wait until it's finished before I decide to edit any of the trees. I do kind of like how the trees naturally spawn, just because they're weird, and I like weird trees. But yeah. Eaten by raccoons? Yeah, eaten by raccoons. Raccoons are vicious when chickens are involved. So yes, the more you know about chickens. And the other thing is that, like, birds of prey will take off a chicken, take a chicken out easily, very easily. You don't think they added July and August, just renamed month 5 and 6, although the calendar did only have 10 months and 304 days, but January and February got added. Did a wiki refresh. Oh, okay. So it might be, It might be that misconceptions are, it might be that my thoughts, my understanding of it is based off of like, you know, like folk history sort of thing. I'll have to look into that. That sounds really interesting. And it proves that even if you're an archaeologist, you can still get things wrong. Like I said, I don't really study the Romans or the Greeks or the Egyptians. I do tangentially, but like there are a lot of people already studying the Romans and the Greeks and the Egyptians. so I was like, you know what? I'll take the Picts. I'll take Southeast Asia. Let me look into some stuff that don't have, you know, loads of archaeologists already talking about them. So yeah, it's an interesting read along with how leap years work. Yeah, that's cool. If you want to put it in the Discord, Legumilas, you can, although I'm not entirely sure. No pressure if you're not in the Discord. If people want to join the Discord, this is the Discord, but there's no pressure to join for anybody who may or may not want to be in the Discord. But it is a place where we chat about archaeology, we chat about Minecraft, we chat about adorable animals called Noombats, because Robert's Kitsch likes Noombats, and they're basically like anteaters, but like slightly different and adorable. And I'm sure Robert's Kitsch can enumerate far more of the differences between Noombats and anteaters than I can, but they're adorable anyway, and you should still look at them. And there's also occasionally, and by occasionally I mean frequently, posts about ducks, because ducks are great, and I like ducks, and that's just how it's my Discords. So there are duck photos because I can, basically. And you all seem to like it, or at least the people in the Discord seem to enjoy the duck photos. Let me make sure that we're not flooding the Nether. This is another reason why I shouldn't put the lava in until later, because I'm dealing with water over here, and I really don't want to have to create more lava than I want to. More lava than I need. Words. I'm good at words today. I'm so good at words today. Yep. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. Let's do this. So this is gonna end up being the basalt delta. So I'm not putting lights down because there's about to be lava, and it's gonna be good. They named a month after themselves either way. Yes, they did. Absolutely. Oh, that's true. Yes, you can also send Clara the link via DM if you aren't in the Discord, and then Clara can put it in the chat just here. I can use your lava farm. I will see how my lava farm does, but thank you for the offer, because I will definitely keep it in mind if I get too fed up with lava, with my own lava system, which is very small at the moment. I need to build it up. It's fine. Everything's fine. Noombats have been called banded anteaters or marsupial anteaters. See, there you go. Yeah, they're adorable. And there's also channels for people to post photos of their pets and such, because who doesn't want photos of cats and bunnies and dogs and, you know, I feel like there are other animals that are present in there that I'm forgetting, but there are at least those three, which is pretty great. Thank you so much for the follow, Leopard Mask. Welcome on in. I'm glad that my ramblings about archaeology and basalt deltas and chickens being killed by raccoons are entertaining. I probably need to figure out where I want the lava to go. Because there's also magma all over the basalt deltas. So what I'm probably going to do is have these be lined with basalt, and there's blackstone in basalt deltas. Hello, Leopard Mask. Welcome on in. I need to figure out what I'm doing with the, why am I, okay. I love how I'm like, I need to figure out where I'm putting the lava, and then I immediately start filling everything in. And that's not what I need to do. But there's magma too, right? There's magma in the basalt deltas. The nice thing about the basalt deltas is that, number one, basalt deltas are just cool anyway. And number two, I've already semi-built pillars of basalt, because that's what I did out by the cake shrine. Because apparently I like cake a lot. So the basalt pillars I got. Basalt pillars are fun. I enjoy basalt pillars. I have told you guys all about Staffa, right? That's basically the basalt pillar situation. Basalt pillar formation in Scotland that's similar to the Giant's Causeway in Ireland. Magma lava, blackstone, basalt. Okay, that's what I thought. Cool. So Staffa is, if you've seen the Giant's Causeway in Ireland, the same geological formation forms an island called Staffa in Scotland. And it's like a short boat ride away from Iona, which I know I've talked a lot about because I've worked there a few seasons. And so the basalt pillars actually form a cave, a sea cave that is very cool. And the waves going into the basalt column, basalt pillar sea cave were actually the inspiration for one of Handel's pieces. I've forgotten which one, but it's really cool because there's like there are vents in places, and so basically the air coming through from the waves going into the sea cave make a really eerie noise. And so one of my PhD supervisors, when I was doing the PhD, he was looking into Staffa to try and map the sounds, and then they also mapped the inside of the cave with sound waves. So they basically used sonar to map the inside of the cave, and then they recreated the soundscape of Staffa in a 3D model so that you didn't necessarily have to go to Staffa to hear what it was like. Obviously, it still very much encouraged people to go to Staffa because it's such a cool site, but there are also lots of people who can't necessarily just hop over to Scotland. so that was what his work was on. And then he was also looking into, because he had started the soundscape thing, which was interesting by itself, he then also ended up seeing a lot of the stuff on Staffa. Okay, story time, donut tangent time. But also, thank you for redeeming Cake or Death, Clara. We'll definitely do Cake or Death, and also thank you for the Hydrate Dragon. Let's do that first. So have a drink if you haven't in a while, and also this is your reminder that if you need to take medications at whatever time of day it is for you right now, maybe do that. Maybe take your medications if you haven't already. Donut tangent. Yes, so many donut tangents. Okay, so the Victorians loved going on holiday, and they loved being tourists. There are so many like Victorian tourism boat trip sort of things that happened across the UK, and one of those was to Staffa. So the Victorians would take a boat, a steamboat, up the coast, the west coast of Scotland, through to the Sound of Iona, and then they would go up to Staffa and visit Staffa. And because they did this, well, when people visit places, at least a certain number of people are almost always inclined to carve something into some rocks while they're there. So the Victorians put graffiti all over the cave walls. And so my PhD supervisor, a lot of his research was looking into the graffiti and trying to understand what that graffiti was doing and who wrote it, and if we could trace it back to specific people, and some of it he could, and it was really cool. So anyway, graffiti happens no matter what time or place it is. Basically, graffiti is also really cool. Like archaeologists love graffiti. Pretty much. Is that what I want to do there? No, I don't think it is. Archaeologists love graffiti because when people are writing stuff that's like, formal writing, there are rules to that formal writing, and there's usually, am I out of basalt? Okay, that's fine. I'll get that later. I have more somewhere. I just don't have it in here just yet. Oh, but I do need more blackstone in there, so maybe that bit'll be blackstone. That'll work. Hey V's, welcome on in. It's good to see you. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2013. I mean, I know 2013, no, 2023. Oh man, I said that I can do work. This is also the reason that I never really went into history specifically, because numbers and I do not get along well. I get numbers backwards and turned around and confused all the time. So you can imagine if you're doing history and you're having to keep track of a whole bunch of dates. I'm terrible with dates. I can't. I'm so bad at remembering what date something happened. Oh, it's dark. Hang on. Let's see if we can avoid a creeper. We probably can't, but we can try. Honestly, I mean, the nice thing is that I have a cat outside my house, so the creepers won't attack me there. They'll run away from my cat, but the rest of my base, I only have the one cat, so unless I want to get a whole army of cats, which is not a bad idea. 2013, let's go. Happy 2013. Oh my goodness. 2013 was a while ago. I was in 2013. Wow, lots of zombies. Hello. I'm just gonna outrun you guys because I can. In 2013, I was doing my master's, actually. Not in early 2013. Early 2013, I was actually in... Oh, pretty sure they went to the Nether. So that'll be fun to deal with later. It's gonna be fine. They probably burned. It's good. Yeah, early 2013, I was actually in Indonesia. So this time in 2013, I was in Indonesia doing a Fulbright. And trying to do archaeological research in Indonesia, but there were issues with my visa and it delayed everything. So it was a bit of a difficult time, 2013. So actually I'm kind of okay that it's not 2013 anymore. Where am I at? Welcome to 2013, Archaeo Plays 2023. I'm so good. 2013, you had a better handle on health things. That's true. I did not have 7 fully fledged chronic illnesses in 2013. I had a couple that were like attempting to happen. But yeah, no, I very much agree. You were 1 semester into college. Oh my goodness, Jossie. Very interesting. Shattered Savannah. Yes. So Leopard Mask, actually, while we're here, because there are a couple new people in chat and lurking and such, let me explain this base, because I've been in a cave and you haven't seen my base. Number 1, this is my favorite feature of my base so far. It's a frog pond with an axolotl in it named Splash. And I also have 2 frogs. I don't have the green frog yet because I just haven't gotten a green frog yet. But I have these 2 frogs, and sometimes they like to hop onto the swing, and it's adorable and fantastic, and it's my favorite part of my base. But which is high praise, because there's also a duck build in my base, but there are no ducks in Minecraft, so my enchanting room is a duck. But yeah, it's I still like the frog pond better, except the cake shrine does give the frog pond a run for its money. So these are some of the basalt things I was talking about over by the cake shrine. So this is the shore that I've built up, and this is the shrine to cake on the server. So the gist behind my base, well, there are a couple gists, but the main gist behind my base is that because I'm an archaeologist and we like talking about archaeology, one of the things that I thought would be cool is looking at one of the things that players tend to do in Minecraft is not necessarily change their builds. Like when you build a building, you're like, right, that's that building built. And then you maybe, yes, Clara, it is definitely cake or death time. So let us know which one you're hoping for. But yes, so when people build in Minecraft, they tend not to necessarily change the build that they've got. And instead, here, and that's something that Pixorifs and I were talking about in the talk that we gave over the summer, which is on my YouTube channel if you're curious. So here, let me give you my YouTube channel, and you can search for that. And so we were talking about that a bit, and then I started doing this server and was like, it would be nice to have a base where I don't really care about the buildings staying, the way that they are when I first build them. So basically tracking the materials from different builds. So the first materials that I used in my first starter house, which is not the one that's up here, this is actually iteration number 2, all of those materials, we can figure out where they go, and eventually they might end up in building number 23 or something, and that would be really cool. Actually, earlier this stream, I took 16 planks from my original storage building design, and I turned them into the double chest that is currently holding a whole bunch of, like, all the stuff that's that's like the bunch of stone and stuff that's over in the cavern there. So you can see how these materials change over time, and they get used in different ways over time, and it can become really interesting. So that's the gist behind the base. The cake shrine. This was created because it was originally to celebrate me becoming a Twitch affiliate, because that lets you guys subscribe, and it gives emotes and things, and it's like it's an accomplishment. So I was excited, and I had some cake, and I was like, I've got a cake, and I'm gonna put it down. And then I thought it would be fun if what am I saying? I thought it would be fun if there were some parts of this base that didn't change. Because all the rest of it is going to change, it would be cool to have some things that stay the same over time, and that maybe just end up looking older and older and older as we go. So I might change some of the things, like if there's cobblestone or something, I might put more mossy cobblestone or some cracked bricks or something like that. Or I might take a stone away or so, just to kind of give that sense. Or there's like the glow lichen, which you can kind of see over here, like this stuff. That helps a lot of stone colors, like these things just look a little bit more cracked and a little more worn. So we might see some of that, but the build itself is going to stay the same. Now the cake shrine. Originally I was just going to build a shrine to cake, right? And this is the shrine to cake. Okay, I'm gonna just show it to you here. It's got some precious metals and materials in it that are in the same colors as the cake. There's like cherries on top with the cake, and then it turned out that, well, it turned into wanting to have this, which is cake roulette, otherwise known as cake or death. Inside there are cakes and there are fireworks. In order to enter the cake shrine, you must step on the pressure plate, which sets off one of those things. Either it gives you the dispenser gives you a cake, or it sets off a firework in your face. So that's cake or death. Originally, we were gonna have it be like cake is a positive answer and firework is a negative answer, like a magic 8-ball kind of thing. And then we realized that, sometimes you just want fireworks. So really it's more, the answers are either cake or fireworks, depending on what the person wants at the time. And then we realized that if we were going to be storing cake here, there needed to be a security detail, right, to guard the cake against intruders. So that's why there are tropical fish in a little coral reef. Here, let me show this from down here, even though I might get poked by a trident boy. But yeah, there are tropical fish, and then there are 11 tropical fish, and then there are 11 puffer fish who are the cake security detail and making sure that nobody steals the cake, basically. So that's the lore behind the cake shrine. And this is cake or death. So I've seen a few people do cake or death. So Clara, let's do you first, and then Jossie will do yours, because Clara's was like 15 minutes ago-ish. Definitely better functioning back in 2013. I don't know if I was better functioning, but some of my body was functioning better in 2013, at least. What if you want to keep your secrets? You can absolutely keep your secrets. You just want to see a cake or death? Nice. Okay, well, Clara, this is yours. Hang on, let me empty my hand just in case I get cake. Oh, firework. There you go. The nice thing about the fireworks is that they don't actually kill you. They're not that high powered. so yeah, so there you go. The gods of the fireworks need a following too. Exactly. We have shrines to cake. We have shrines. There are also caves dedicated to ducks and birds, and because I love ducks, and like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff on this server that people have made because I like it, and it makes me happy. Ad breaks are definitely feeling shorter today. Oh, that's good. Let's see. You were much better functioning. Hang on, wait a minute. Where am I at? The cake shrine has resulted in a few other cake shrines. Exactly. Yes. Now it's a little bit of a it's semi-cult-like. And there's also the cookie trail. Yes. there's definitely also the cookie trail that is it's like it's a cake shrine. It will grow into a cake shrine, maybe. Cookies are just mini cakes, right? That works, right? Maybe. You could turn your deep dark into a shrine to fireworks. You could. Oh my goodness, you could. Okay, Jossie, this one's gonna be yours. So I don't know which one you're hoping for, but here you will just interpret whatever happens. All right. Oh, another firework. So Clara, you got a red firework. Jossie, you got a green not a green, a white firework. Yep. Welcome to my brain. I knew that it was white. My brain, when it sees white, I will call it anything but white half the time. Sometimes I call it orange, sometimes I call it yellow, sometimes I call it green. I know that it's white. And my head just thinks, like, in the moment, that that's the word that I'm saying, and it's clearly not the word that I'm saying, but, you know, brains are weird, that's all I'm saying. I'm gonna grab a little bit more basalt. Claire's cookie trail was fun to do, yes. So this is the cookie trail, the start to the cookie trail. It goes way out over there, and there's a really amazing little shrine that involves cake and cookies and such. And then there's also the bird glyph cave, which I don't think we've talked about what those things meant, because Lazugod wasn't here. Where's the Tower of Twizzlers? I haven't made a Tower of Twizzlers, but I do enjoy Twizzlers. Twizzlers are good. Yeah, it doesn't exist yet, but don't you worry. I'm sure that can be arranged. That's what I can use the netherrack for. All of my netherrack. But we did here. Wait. So, do you guys? Okay. Well, here's a question. Do you guys want to go back to the bird glyph cave and talk about what it actually means, or would you like to continue building the nether area a little bit? Just gonna put that out there. You want to go to the bird glyph cave? I'm hearing bird glyph cave. Okay. At least I'm assuming that's what yes means. You're gonna take the white firework to mean that you'll somehow get your life together enough to plan and maybe have your wedding this year. That's a good interpretation. Weddings are difficult to plan. My goodness, having planned my own wedding in about 4 months, it was a lot. Okay, I should take a bed if I have one. Do I have one? No. Get my little drawer back oriented. I have so much stone. Okay, where is my bed? I guess there's one down there. I should just make a bed, shouldn't I? Just in case, because last time I ended up like way underground because I was worried about it being dark, and so let's make sure there's a bed first. I love how I'm like, where's my bed? I have so much wool. I don't need to worry about where a bed is. I can just build a bed. It's like build a bear, but slightly different. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave this stuff in my inventory. It'll be fine. I won't regret that, probably. Okay, so this is my little composter, because, you know, we gotta, oh, well, actually, since my dad's here and maybe hasn't seen this, there's a farm. How did a sheep get in here? That's a wild sheep. It was not one of my original sheep. I did dye a lot of my sheep white so that we could use the wool for the winter village, but the cool thing that, Dad, you might not realize is that in Minecraft, polyculture is a thing. Like, you get rewarded for polyculture. So if your crops are in alternating rows, then they grow faster than if you have a single crop field. Just a fun detail I thought you might enjoy. Anyway, so let's go. Oh, and the other thing that those of you who are newer might enjoy, the whole reason that we settled here, or that I settled here, is because in the first stream on this server, I was looking for a place to go and finding saddles in so many saddles in so many villages, and I keep finding saddles everywhere. And then we kind of came across this thing, right? And it looks like a bird. And so Clara was like, that looks like a bird. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. So like that's the beak and the head. And then this looks like a wing. And then this is like the chest. And so the idea eventually is to have a little walkway that's like up this side of the cliff with buildings over here so that they're on the cliff. And then there's going to be a big bird in the sky. I'm going to make a bird. It's going to be great. I'm going to make it out of super expensive blocks because that's what we're aiming for eventually. It's gonna be cool. Also, I don't think that I've seen my base from this angle since I built this edge of the pond, and I really like it. I feel like that looks really good. And I don't even have shaders on, so that's pretty great. Okay, anyway, let's go to Bird Glyph Cave and talk about what the bird glyphs mean, because Bird Glyph Cave is super cool. I don't think Lazugod is in stream at the moment. Again, but Lazugod is responsible for Bird Glyph Cave. I have not eaten, I am realizing, so I'm expecting somebody to tell me to eat something. Hang on. It works. It's fine. This is how I learned that I haven't eaten, is when I can no longer sprint, and then I get sad that I can no longer sprint, and I'm like, oh right, I should have eaten. I'm so bad at remembering to eat in Minecraft. Oh, there's a beehive right there. That's good to know. Or is that might be one that Jossie's using. So, we shall see. There we go. There's the eat prompt. Okay, so we have to get to Bird Glyph Cave because it's a little bit far away, but it's really cool. And Lazugod caught the VOD and was like, oh my gosh, we got a lot of stuff right, you guys. And I say we, I really mean chat got a lot of stuff right. I mean, I got some stuff right, but a lot of chat's ideas were spot on, and it's really cool. So let me get there. And look, we can see Jossie's base. Hang on, wait. There we go. There's Jossie's base. Jossie's got like a greenhouse kind of thing on top of her base, so it's really cool. I like that you can just walk around and see people's bases. I'm a fan of walking around and seeing people's bases. I know I don't do it much on stream. I promise we will do that at some point on stream. Okay, let's go to Bird Glyph Cave. And that's probably where, like, once we do Bird Glyph Cave, I'm probably going to end stream there just because it is a little bit past 3 and that's usually when I finish. But also because there's a lot of other stuff happening today. So I can go a little long, but I can't go super long, basically. But yeah. Oh, let's not fall in the... Do you... I don't have any way of luring you away from the lava, but I'm just gonna make a suggestion, Cow, that you may not want to stay there super long. Just a thought. Oh man, see, so when I first had this compass and I was following it, I ended up underground because it was dark and I got scared. And so I didn't have this lovely tour of so many people's bases. I haven't seen Lazugod's base in ages. Not since like the first self-cooked beef, yes. My goodness, there are a lot of lava pools. It's impressive. Yeah. I haven't seen Lazugod's base since I think the first week that we were on the server, first week or so. And they had so much set up so quickly. But I love the style that he's going for. The, like, kind of Spanish, Mexican-esque kind of style. It's cool. It's very cool. Hello, NP Beans. Welcome on in. We're going to a Bird Glyph Cave, which is, it's something that the person who built this designed as a little bit of archaeology on the server, so it's really cool. We found it last stream and had a whole bunch of brainstorms about what different things meant. Does this go there? Maybe this goes there. I mean, it seems like it could. Now I'm curious if, like, because I went such a convoluted way. If this goes there... See, like, look at this. Look at how much stuff Lazugod has made. There's just so much stuff. And it's all great. It's really cool. Okay, does this... What? What? Wait a minute. Oh, this is cool. I didn't see this bit. I don't know if this is part of it or if this is just something else that they've made. This is cool with all the little seats around and like bits that are falling apart. How cool is that? Very cool. Found by a Pixel Roast. Thank you so much, MP Beans. I'm glad you found me through Pix's channel. It's been a lot of fun to work with Pix on on all of the things that we've done, basically. Yeah, I'm always happy for people to find me through that. Yeah, some kind of kingfisher. Sorry, Leopard Mask, I'm only just seeing that message. Yeah, it does. It definitely looks like some kind of kingfisher. Or like a water bird. The bird that I'm eventually gonna build, I'm planning to be like a heron or a crane. I love herons. They're one of my favorite birds to have ever existed. And so that's my goal with that. This, I feel like this could be. There are things around. Okay, there's nothing down there. I'm hearing a chicken again, though. So I feel like we must be close, right? Because it can't be the same chicken, though, right? It won't be the same chicken. Okay, this is a different... This is a different path. But there was, like, an archaeology-based thing following the path, so now I'm curious if there's... See, this is, like, broken bits again. I wonder if we totally didn't see the correct entrance. Okay, hang on. And I'm not gonna dig down or anything just because it's Lazagod's base. Is it further out? Okay, it looks like it might be further out. That's fine. The mystery chicken is back. I know, right? Herons are neat. They look kind of alien. They do, don't they? I love herons. I love ducks, but I also love herons. I'm a fan of both. Okay, all right. So there's additional archaeology at Lazagod's base. I think. This is cool. I don't know what this is. Oh, that's a cave with lights. Okay, maybe we're getting closer. I'm hesitant to go underground too early because now I'm feeling like, oh, maybe there was an actual entrance to this that I totally missed. And I don't want to totally miss it. I am gonna need to sleep in a minute, but that's fine. Sleep is fine. Okay, let's sleep. How did that... How... I don't think I hit any keys there. Like, how did that happen while I was coughing? Yeah, sorry about that. I was gonna try and mute, but it didn't happen in time. Where is this? This is the other thing, is that because I went underground last time, I genuinely don't know where this is. Above ground. I just know... Oh, there we go! Hang on, wait. Okay, alright. So the road does kind of go to it. Sort of. Alright, okay. So, bird dig. Basically. And if you go up here, hang on, if we go over here, and then we fall down, there's the lodestone here, so you can, okay, so hang on, let me call up the description that he was giving, because it's so good. Let me find it. Okay. So, so when I was looking at this, I was like, this looks like something that was left behind because wasn't there an above ground? Yeah. This looks like something that was left behind, like the lodestone was originally over here, and then that got replaced with a chiseled stone. That was absolutely correct. Lazagod was like, yeah, I had it in the wrong place. I had it there originally, and then I was like, I'm gonna move it. So we got that right. And then you come down here, and it's, or at least I think it's down here. This is, hang on. Finding the entrance is interesting. And I'm not sure we successfully found the entrance the correct way last time. So, I mean, this is doing something. It must be something. It can't be wrong, can it? Can it? That is not where we need to go. Okay, hang on. There was another path. Hang on. There is more. There's a lot more. There's so much that's underground. I think we went that way last time, this way, and I just kind of dropped down and then eventually found a thing. So let's try the other direction, whichever direction that was. Is that over here? Yeah. Does this do anything? No, that doesn't do anything either. Okay, all right, hang on. This is part of it, is that when it's an archaeological site, it's not always clear which direction you're supposed to go. And that's true both, like, in general and in Minecraft. It doesn't change. But once we get there, well, I'll get there first, and then I'll describe some of the other stuff. There is no escape. Okay. Maybe it was down here. Right? Because I didn't mine anything to get... Oh, but there's a zombie down there. I don't want to deal with the zombie. I don't think I went down there last time, did I? I know I found it. We dug and got the lodestone. And now I don't remember how to get to the rest of it, which is a downside because the compass points to the lodestone, obviously. So it doesn't point to how to get further in. Oh wait, hang on. There we go. All right, this is it. There we go. Eventually, I will remember how to get to this place. But how cool is this? So there's all these things on the sides, and then there's this, and then there's a duck, and then there's like this bit over here, and then there's stuff up. Hold on. There's this, and then there's this, and there's another one on the other wall. It is super cool. And there's this stuff, and there's a little starburst thing over there, and then there's also the mountain, which is a mountain. This thing over here. Oh, hang on. This. Okay. So. Okay. Yeah. So, interestingly, so let me describe what I've been told the things mean before I talk to you about the funny things about interpreting this site that we kind of like spent a lot of time on in chat and it had actually no intended purpose for this site. So this is definitely a mountain. Those of you who said it was a mountain, you're absolutely correct. And this is an arrow to show that basically like you're under a mountain, I believe. Hang on, let me double check that. Let me hang on. Wait a minute. Hang on. Yes, it's a snowy mountain. Oh, right. It's for seasonal migration. So you have the sunburst. This is a sunburst here with an arrow pointing north. So in the summer, birds go north, and in the winter, they go south. And that's what they are. It's a sunburst and a snowy mountain. So that's cool. So we were close. We were getting there with those ones. I think those ones were probably the hardest to figure out. Although I say that as the person who did not figure out most of these things. I think chat figured most of them out before I did. The little groups of 3 are indeed birds flying, I believe. And then let me not fall down. Over here, the bit where we were talking about of like these looking like feathers and then this looking like an arrow or a shovel, it is an arrow and these are feathers. So it's uses of feathers and stuff that bird-based products can be used for. And then I think that's the last bit up here, or is there's something up there? But that might be feathers as well. Hang on, let me just, because you can't always see the stuff on the top from the bottom, so let me just have a look. that I think might be like a quill pen kind of situation. Let me double check if he put something. Flapping birds. He said he liked the footprint idea, though. The arrow/shovel was indeed an arrow and pair of feathers, human use of bird byproducts. Yeah. Okay, I think that one is supposed to, I don't think he actually said, but I think that's supposed to be like a quill, like a quill pen kind of situation. And then, if we go down, I could survive that fall, right? I probably shouldn't risk it. It would take too long to come back here. So let's not risk it. Let's not. This is, sometimes, you know, I say that I'm clumsy in Minecraft. Sometimes I'm clumsy, and sometimes I just take significantly high risks. So this, those of you who guessed that these were eggs that then hatched into a little chick, you're totally correct. That's exactly what it was. So good job to those of you who figured that one out. And then this is like a little rain cloud. The rain cloud, hang on, there is a rain cloud that is important. Hang on. Ah, okay, so the rain cloud and then birds flying through the rain cloud are about birds' relationship to the sky. So that's what that is. So you guys nailed so much of it. And then the things that, hang on, let me make sure I've gotten everything. Sunburst and Snowy Mountain. And the tunnel next to them, the one that I said was probably person-made. Hang on, is it up? No, it's up. There was a tunnel that was over here that I was like, this is too square even for Minecraft. And therefore I think it's human-made. It is actually a tunnel. It is a person-made tunnel, and if you follow it, apparently it comes out next to a village. So that's this tunnel up, I think up here. Yeah, this one with the torch, right? That doesn't look like naturally generated Minecraft to me. So that's what that one is. Shows the accuracy and importance of crowdsourced information. Yes, absolutely. And archaeologists do that all the time. There's so many points where, like, especially on Twitter and things, archaeologists will post photos on social media, or like museums will send stuff to their mailing lists and things. There's so many things where archaeologists and historians are like, what do you all, we don't know what this object is. Does anybody have any guesses? And a lot of the time what'll happen is, you know, it's an object that is used in weaving or something that we didn't know because, you know, we're not necessarily weaving specialists, but a whole bunch of weavers on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or wherever are like, oh, I know exactly what that is. That's used for whatever, you know? So yeah, we crowdsource information all the time in archaeology and history. And the other thing is, you can also contribute to archaeological and historical knowledge if you are curious. One of the big things that we need help with a lot of the time is transcribing documents. So there are a whole lot of documents that have a whole lot of writing on them, and obviously we don't have, you know, we can't have every historian and every archaeologist sitting decoding these writings, but at the same time, we do kind of want to know what they're saying and have that be accessible to people. So I believe the Smithsonian, for example, has a program where you can just volunteer. It's like you log into their website and they'll just give you a document and you transcribe it. You try to figure out what it's saying, basically, based on the handwriting, which can be very difficult because a lot of people's handwriting isn't the easiest to read. And also because literacy levels in the past have not been, like, until it was mandatory for children to go to school in many countries, the literacy level of people in those countries wasn't necessarily high, or it wasn't standardized. And that's actually usually more the case, is that people would know how to write letters and things, but the spelling for certain things was not standardized. So different people would spell things in different ways. So if you're curious and you want to do that sort of thing, absolutely have a look on Google. And maybe what I'll do is, if you remind me, I can have a look and put some links in the Discord as well, if you guys are curious. There is also, hang on, I think I have a command for this. Oh, nope, that's not my command. Hang on. Field. I can type. Does that do a thing? There you go. If you're ever looking for opportunities to do archaeology, you absolutely can. If you go to that website, that's the archaeological Fieldwork Opportunities Bulletin. You can basically filter, so you could either do like a field school, but that's going to be something where you probably have to pay them to be able to do it. So that can be really expensive depending on where you are. In a lot of countries, like say in the UK, it's not nearly as expensive, but in the US it can be like several $1,000s. So just be careful there. However, they do also list volunteer opportunities, and so depending on where you are in the world, you might be able to volunteer on an archaeological dig site. There's probably not going to be as many of the actual digs happening at this time of year because in much of the world the ground is frozen, but you might be able to find something that's like, transcribing work or doing stuff with artifacts in a museum or something. And there could be stuff there where you are. So absolutely take a look if you're interested. You did a lot of transcription work for special collections while you were a student in college. Yes, very satisfying. I did, oh man, one of the things I did when I was in college was I worked for the local historical society. At this point, I'm just kind of wandering around, just so that I'm not like oh, hydrate! Everybody, take a drink. It has been a while. You're off to work, NP Beans. No problem. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you whenever you can join again. I mean, not today, because I'm gonna finish soon, but hopefully work is enjoyable, or at least semi-pleasant. Yeah, and we'll see you next time. So one of the most, there are moments like, I don't know for other careers, because I haven't had other careers, but certainly in archaeology and history, there are moments when you're doing research or doing work where it just kind of hits you in a different way. And a lot of the time it's a positive, like it's one of those kind of moments that you just don't forget. So for me, one of those moments, for example, was working in Scotland, in Perthshire. We were excavating a site that ended up having an Iron Age roundhouse in it. And I was working with one of the staff members, and they told me to remove the hearthstone. And this was a hearthstone from the Iron Age in Scotland. So that's anywhere between about sort of 800 BCE to about 400-ish CE. So the Romans coming into Scotland, that's the late Iron Age, basically. And what am I saying? So basically this hearthstone had been in the ground for at least 1,500 years, probably more closer to a couple thousand years. And nobody had touched it since, right? It had been buried since then. So there I am lifting it out, and the stone itself was worn in places because people had been using it as a hearthstone. So like there were divots where people's knees had been and where their feet had been. And like just picking this up, it was one of those moments of like, oh, hello. People from 2,000 years ago are like here right now in my hands. And that's wild, One of the other moments, this was actually long before 2013. This was back in 2010, I think. I was working at the local historical society, and I was creating a finds catalog basically I was basically making a catalog of their collections of Civil War documents. So this was a small town in very rural New York. But they had a lot of documents that were, say, letters written home from soldiers to their families, or various, like discharge papers and things like that. It was predominantly letters, though. And sometimes things like marriage certificates or death certificates, but it was usually letters. And the idea was that we would write what the letters were and what they were talking about, like brief summary, and then I would give a brief summary of who the person was, if I could find information about them, like which unit they were with, what happened to them during the war, like if they were killed in a certain battle, or if they were discharged, if they, were discharged due to injury, if they were discharged because the war ended, that kind of stuff. And the one that got me, I mean, they're all, a lot of these stories are really sad, because the majority of people who died in the Civil War died from things like disease rather than the actual combat. So a lot of it is like, young men who die from, cholera or dysentery or something. And it was a rough job. It was a very interesting job, but it was a rough job. But the one that got me, and it still gets me more than a decade later, was a man he wrote a letter to his wife in the last months of the Civil War. It was 1865. It was like February or March. So the war finished in, I think, June or July. Oh gosh. It finished in the summertime. It was either June or July. I'm sorry, I can't remember which one it was. But it was months away from when the war actually ended, but obviously he doesn't necessarily know that where he is. And he's writing this letter to his wife, and it's a lovely letter, and he says that he can't wait to see her again and to be able to, go home. And that was all fine, and I wrote that down, and then I investigated who this guy was. And it turned out that less than a month before the war finished, he was shot at point blank range in the head. And he survived. However, he lost both of his eyes. So he had just written this letter to his wife saying how he couldn't wait to see her again. He did make it through the war, but he never physically saw his wife again. And that's, yeah, that was rough. So that is a donut tangent in part. It's one of those like moments, and the letter is beautiful, and like he had other writings that were also very beautiful, and like it just, that soldier just stays with me so often. But yeah, just like there are things, this is part of why when I say like, if you are looking at history and it seems too neat and tidy, and something ridiculous hasn't happened, or something outlandish or wild hasn't happened, or something that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, then something's missing, probably, because somebody's amended the story or something like that, because there's just that kind of stuff always happens. In history, in archaeology, there's always something, and a lot of the time it's wild in a funny way. A lot of the time it's wild in a kind of incredulous way, and sometimes it's wild in a sad way. But yeah, so so it's good. But the nice thing about that work is that there were a lot of descendants of those soldiers who were in that area who had wanted to be able to see the letters that their family members had written to each other. And so because we had transcribed them and been able to create this catalog, all of a sudden, all of these families in rural New York could actually find documents and information about family members that they hadn't had access to before. So it's always good work. And actually, that university at the moment, they've had a long-running program where they've been working to identify graves in cemeteries with unmarked graves. They've been working to identify who is potentially in those unmarked graves, basically, and who they were, and where, what their stories are. And at the end of the day, that's basically what archaeology is. It's figuring out what the story is, trying to understand the story as best we can, and to try and tell it to everybody else as best we can. We don't always succeed at telling everybody else the story necessarily. Archaeologists often have a little bit of a communication problem, or can have a communication problem. Academics in general sometimes often have communication problems or difficulties. But yeah, archaeology is all about stories. And understanding, and the same is true for history. It's all about the stories and trying to understand what the story was, and what the people did, and what different things meant, and how that led to, where we are today. And now that I've gotten super philosophical on you all in a cave with a bunch of bird glyphs, that's amazing. I think what we might do is end stuff there. I hope that I'm realizing that the Civil War letter story might be more of a downer than I was hoping it was. It is a downer, but it is also like one of those things, like we do have letters from him later where he's, or like diary entries where he's talking about it, and it's, he doesn't necessarily he doesn't have that sort of thing in writing where he's like, I never actually saw them again. That was just me sitting in this in this room on my own being like, oh my gosh, okay. But he does write about, you know, his life and his family and everything, and so rest assured, he had a very happy life afterwards. Don't you worry. But yeah, there are moments like that just kind of stick with you in archaeology, and that's having those moments and, you know, facilitating those kinds of moments for other people. Is why I do what that's why I'm an archaeologist, right? I want you guys to be able to have those kind of moments and to be able to, why am I doing this? I'm doing mindless things. I'm destroying the cave. But yeah, I want you guys to be able to have those moments, or to be able to, you know, have moments of that sort that you might not have had before kind of situation. So anyway, he lived and got to go home. Exactly. Many people didn't. And he got to go home. He had a family. So it is actually a happier side of the stories from the American Civil War. But yeah, it's very humanizing. That's yes. Humanizing the past. I feel like for me, if I were doing archaeology and I wasn't humanizing the past, I would start to question why I was doing archaeology. Like what am I intending to do here if not humanize the past? The past is all, like, for me, there's nothing more to it, you know? Humanizing the past is the point. And very much agreed. Humanizing the past to kind of expand our understanding of who we are and, you know, who people were before. And it's the big reason why I constantly say, like, people in the past, any notion of people being less intelligent or, you know, less wise or less anything, even negative attributes, you know, less ridiculous, less, you know, infuriating, less annoying. People have been annoying for as long as people have existed. People have been interesting and intelligent for as long as people have existed. Any adjective that you can apply to a person today, you can apply to anybody in the past. I mean, you know, obviously not everybody fits every adjective, but you know what I mean. Basically, like, adjectives that can apply to at least one person today definitely applied to at least one person in the past. And there's no such thing as, like, people today being smarter than people in the past, where, I'm sorry, we've talked about, like, how glass is made and how if you're not careful in the ancient world when you were making glass, it could explode in your face, right? Imagine being, like, people figured out how to not do that, how to make glass without it exploding. So, like, you can tell me that people in the past weren't intelligent, but I'm not going to believe you because they figured out how to make glass out of sand and how to do it so that it doesn't explode in your face with molten glass. You know, like, that's just one thing. We're gonna, in Archaeologist Guide, so I'm working on an episode about storage vessels just now, which there are so many different storage vessels, oh my goodness. But mostly because I need a storage room. And so I'm going to build a storage room while talking about storage vessels. But part of what I'm doing is working towards iron smelting. And so the previous episodes, I've been talking about, you know, raw copper and raw iron and how we get those and what the copper age is and what the iron age is. And then I was like, all right, so the next episode, I'm going to talk about iron smelting. Turns out, as somebody who has not looked into iron smelting terribly much, aside from this, there's a whole lot of infrastructure you need to be able to smelt iron. It's kind of ridiculous. So we're going to go through the whole process and we're going to talk all about it. And if anybody comes away from that, I don't think it's possible to come away from that discussion and feel like people in the past weren't intelligent or innovative or something. It's like, no. They had to come up with how to get iron out of a rock. And it's a complicated process, and they did it. They figured it out, and they did it. So yeah, people are people. People are cool. People are also silly, and all other adjectives. And I like people. That's why I do archaeology. I like people. Isn't there now, like, genetic proof or something about how the average intelligence level of humanity has actually generally stayed the same? Oh, I don't think I had seen that, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was leopard mask, because, like, basically, yes. I wouldn't be surprised at all if there were an actual study that showed that. I know certainly in terms of like cranial capacity, which is a lot of what ends up getting talked about, especially differences between, say, Neanderthals and you know, Homo sapiens. There are differences in cranial capacity, and Neanderthals actually had significantly higher cranial capacity than we did. So there's been a lot of research into what that meant and why that meant what it meant. And I won't pretend to go into an explanation here because I haven't looked at it in over a decade, so I don't want to get it wrong accidentally. But yeah, basically, people, I would not be remotely surprised if there was a study being like, oh yeah, people have been as smart as they have been, you know, for pretty much as long as they've existed. Like, yeah, no, archaeologists could have told you that. but I'm also glad that there is something like a genetic study that puts it, you know, even more hard-coded, that backs it up and everything. If they weren't, we wouldn't have the technology we have today. Exactly. Yes, absolutely. You don't have a very good memory, so you might be remembering that wrong, but you feel like not only is there this kind of evidence, but there's also like, we knew it before, but yeah. But now we know. Yeah, absolutely. A plant scientist once said 95% of the genetic improvement of maize occurred prehistory. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and we were talking about that earlier too, right? With chickens and how most of the modern day chickens that currently exist don't exist in the wild. But we didn't domesticate them. Like, did any of you go out and domesticate a chicken? No. So, you know, and our immediate ancestors didn't really do that either. That was thousands and thousands of years ago. So yeah, people figured out how to domesticate animals and use those products to survive. What? You know? There's just so much of humanity and so much intelligence at every period in time. It's just, yeah, you can't convince me that people are not intelligent at any point in history. You also can't convince me that people are not ridiculous or don't, you know, sometimes work against their own interests at any point in history, because people are people. Like, that's, of course that happened. It happens today. It happened in the past. Like, we were just talking about how Julius and Augustus wanted months named after them, so they just decided it was the case. Like, that happened. Or like the maybe I haven't gone on this donut tangent for you guys. So many donut tangents. I'm getting philosophical, but do you guys know how leaded pencils were invented? How graphite pencils came about? It's all because of the Napoleonic Wars. It's because of the Napoleonic Wars, because so the graphite that you get in pencils now didn't exist prior to Napoleon trying to take over all of Europe, because basically he went to war, and the main producers of pencil leads, which was always graphite, it was never actually lead, but it was like pure graphite, whereas now it'll be graphite mixed with clay. So the pure graphite was coming from England, and it was coming from Germany, and Napoleon was not on good terms with England and Germany during the Napoleonic Wars. So he got his like second in command and was like, hey, you need to figure out a way for us to have pencils, because if we don't have pencils, we're gonna have trouble in this war. So we need access to pencils. And basically that guy was like, okay, I don't know how to do this, but like he had some experience in ceramics, and so he mixed clay with the less pure type of graphite that ends up in France, and that's how we get the graphite leads that we have in pencils today. It's all because Napoleon couldn't get pure graphite from England and Germany because he was at war with them. So he forced someone to figure out an answer, and that's how you get baked pencil leads in that kind of perfect, you know, shape. That's where it comes from. There you go. Fun facts that everybody should know. But yeah. Glad I'm still live. You had to leave for a while to see a friend. How much has been done so far this stream? Well, we did quite a bit in the Nether, but this is actually a chart pops. Please tell me well, I mean, feel free to not tell me how to pronounce your name if you enjoy me mispronouncing it and struggling through it. But also, if you'd rather I say it correctly, please tell me how to say it. But yeah, don't worry at all. But we did a lot in the Nether area, but then we came all the way out to this bird glyph cave, which I got the compass for last stream, and then we came through and we're trying to interpret all of the different carvings, and then the person who made it wasn't in chat that day, and then later in the Discord sent me a whole bunch of description of what all of it meant, and it turned out that chat and I had gotten quite a lot correct, which is cool. And then I've just been philosophizing, that's a word, right? It sounds wrong, but I'm gonna say it's a word. We've been talking about people in the past and humanity and like why I do archaeology kind of situation. There are rice paddies in Asia that have been in use for 2,000 years. Absolutely. We created the Dust Bowl in about 50. Yes. There are so many things that are still in use today that have been in use for millennia. And actually, for those of you who saw the work that I did with Pixel Riffs, Petra, I don't know if you've seen the episode where I talk about Petra. There is actually a Minecraft archaeology episode where I use the same footage, but I give the history of Petra. Petra, there are dams and like sluiceways around Petra that were created by the people who carved out Petra that are still in use today. And the reason for that is because when it floods in that ravine, basically, in that sort of cavern, it's not really a cavern, it's basically like a canyon / ravine kind of situation. The floods are really deadly because the water gets really high really quickly and it can sweep through those very narrow passageways really dangerously. So the dams and the sluiceways and the aqueducts, those are still in use today, several thousand years later, keeping people safe in the same way that they have for millennia. And that's, yeah, it's super cool. It's amazing. Did I see about the family who had found a 1,000-year-old bronze pot and used it to make stew and stuff? Oh no, I didn't. That's kind of wild. That's really cool. I'll have to look that up. Or if you have a link, Chichar Pops, if you want to join the Discord and you want to put it in there, feel free. If you don't want to join the Discord, don't worry about it. But if you are on like Twitter or something and you have the link, just like tag me in it. I'd love to see it if you can see it. Call you Pops. You go by that in most chats. Okay, all right, Pops, I can do that. Yeah, that's really cool. Achucharo was your Spanish word of the day when you made your Tumblr username, so it can be difficult to pronounce for some people. Okay. Ah, Cuddle Poppy, your dog. That's adorable. Okay, now that I know it's Spanish, because I do speak Spanish, so now that I know it's Spanish, oops, as I continually hit my mic, now that I know it's Spanish, I can say it. Now I know. But yeah, that's great. That's adorable. That's a fun way to make up a username. Yes, absolutely. You'll try to find it. Cool. Yeah, if you happen to find it. If not, don't worry about it. I can also have a look, but that sounds really cool. Spanish speakers rise. Yes. I learned most of I'm fluent in Spanish, but I learned most of it. This is not really a but. I learned most of it in Costa Rica. So my accent is very Costa Rican and my grammatical use is very Costa Rican. So in Costa Rica, they don't really use tú or vosotros. It's all usted and ustedes. So it's and like they don't roll their R's. So for people who are familiar with Spanish at all, there's like an R sound that's ere, like just a singular R, and then there's erre, and that's a double R. It's a rolled R. But in Costa Rica, it's not erre, it's erge. It's like if you're trying to say je with your tongue in the position it would be in to say R. It's like if you try to put your mouth like you're saying R and say je instead. That's what the Costa Rican double R is. And it's funny because in the Spanish-speaking world, especially in Central America, Costa Ricans are often made fun of because and said to be lazy because they don't roll their R's. so that's what my accent is. It's in Costa Rican, it's costarricense. So yeah, there you go. I'm fluent in 3 languages. I'm fluent in Indonesian because I worked in Indonesia and I spent a long time learning Indonesian, but there are also a lot of words and grammatical structures that I have forgotten in Indonesia because it's not a language that gets a lot of use outside of, at least in my experience, outside of Indonesia. However, I will have you know that I did several years ago. I just went on a trip to Skye out here in Scotland because I could, and I was in a hostel on Skye, and there was this group of Indonesian boys, like these 4 Indonesian guys who were just sitting at one of the tables and speaking in Indonesian, and they were talking about like, oh, where do you think we could get something? And I just went over and started speaking Indonesian to them, and they freaked out, and it was amazing. So I have run into Indonesian in some weird places, but also it's not something I use in my day-to-day life, so there are bits that I forget. You've heard that about Costa Rican Spanish. Yeah. You accidentally, sometimes when you mess up rolling your R's. Yes. So I speak Indonesian, and then I can say a little bit of things in a lot of different languages. So there was a while where I could count to 21 in Thai because I was doing a dig in Thailand, and the kids loved playing badminton, and so we would play to 21. So I could say yes, no, and count to 21, and I could say drink water. And yeah, we had to say no a lot because because one of the kids was about 10 years old, and he liked to do tricks while playing badminton, but he also liked to lie about what the score was. So his sister and I would have to be like, no, it's not 18 to 16, it's 16 to 16. So there was a lot of no. Which is my chai. So at least in the southern dialect. So their tones are a little bit different. But yeah. 10-year-olds, again, the world over are 10-year-olds. It's, yeah, easily. And then I can speak a bit of Javanese. Not much, but enough to like make Javanese speakers really happy. So Java is an island in Indonesia. It's the island where I was it's the island that I've lived on. And I lived in Yogyakarta, which is in central Java. So it's the Javanese part of Java. So not all of Java is Javanese. Javanese is an ethnic group, but central Java is basically Javanese areas. And so I can actually sing Old MacDonald Had a Farm in Javanese, and I can also sing Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes in Indonesian. So it's a fun party trick whenever I need one, basically. Children are children. Exactly. Yes. Children are children. Languages are so cool. I love languages. And I love the words that different languages have for different things and how those words shape how we think about the world. Like the language that you are a native speaker of inherently shapes how you see the world, which is so cool. And it's also wild because in a way, like you can't replicate that unless you're a native speaker of multiple languages. But even then, it's like, it's not quite like I will never know what it's like to perceive the world as a native Spanish speaker, right? And that's just cool. It's wild and cool, and also a little sad because I was like, oh, but I want to. But it's also really cool that other people get to experience that and share that with us, you know? Like, how humans are cool, you guys. Anyway, I've been saying humans are cool for a long time. And I mean, I've been saying it for a long time in terms of like just my existence, but also in terms of this stream. I think I've spent the last like hour talking about how cool humans are. So, so on that note, with here, let me do this. Hang on. On that note, with this adorable little duck, I think I'm gonna end stream there, guys, before I start rambling even further. And also because I need to start getting dinner ready because we're going to some friends later, and so we have to have dinner a little bit early today. But thank you for letting me philosophize with you and for helping me with the Nether portal stuff, and how your native language developed literally affects how you think about things like time. Exactly. Absolutely. Okay, last donut tangent before I sign off. So I had like 4 jobs at a time in college. I was working 4 jobs all the time because college is expensive. And so I was working like 4 different jobs. And so one of the jobs I was doing was working for somebody in our anthropology department, because in the United States, if you do an archaeology degree, it's part of anthropology. So you get an anthropology degree, basically. And at the undergraduate level, if a program doesn't do this, it's not a bad program, but generally speaking, the good programs have you do all 4 subfields of archaeology, which are linguistic anthropology, cultural anthropology, archaeological anthropology, and biological anthropology. So cultural anthropology is like different modern cultures today and how they interact with the world and each other and things like that. And that can be like cultural groups like different countries, but it can also be cultural groups between, say, like African Americans and Hispanic Americans, for example, and how they interact with each other, how they navigate the world. Linguistic anthropology is all about linguistics. It is linguistics in the United States. And then archaeological anthropology is archaeology, and biological anthropology is both at times to do with like human evolution and DNA studies, and also things like disease and how humans have navigated disease in the past and the present, etc. So that's all of that. And so at the time, the head of our anthropology department was writing an encyclopedic dictionary of a dialect of a language that was spoken in Papua New Guinea. So the language is Mutu, and it was the Mandoc dialect of the Mutu language, which is one of hundreds of languages spoken in Papua New Guinea. And Papua New Guinea, by the way, has the largest number of languages spoken in a single country. There are over 700 languages spoken in Papua New Guinea. It's like as native languages. It's kind of absurd in a wonderful way. So Mandoc Mutu, bye, Jossie. I might have missed you before you left, but if you're watching the VOD, bye. I hope your work meeting goes well. So I was helping to write this encyclopedic dictionary of Mandoc Mutu, and the way that counting works in that language, you can't. I think I've mentioned this before in a stream. You can't ask them to just count. Right? If you go to somebody speaking that language and say count to 10, they're gonna say 10 what? Because the way that they count matters for the object, like what they're counting matters for the words that they use to count, right? So there's one system that's like armbands where they count in base 5, and then there's another system that's like bundles of coconuts where they count in base 4. And then there are other systems where they count in base 2 and other systems where they count in base 10. And so like you have to define what you want them to count in order for them to know what numbers to use. And the reason that my head of department was writing, the reason she got involved with this group to begin with was because they had really high marks in mathematics in the national tests for Papua New Guinea. And the government was like, wow, what is it like? It's like every kid from this island scores super high. Why are they scoring so high? And it's because their language literally teaches them to count in different bases of numbers from birth. So they're like, oh yeah, we can easily understand what logarithmic functions are because that's what our language does, you know? And it's wild and it's so cool. So anyway, I can talk a lot about how cool languages are. That's just one fun one, because I love that example. It's so good. Anyway, on that note, now I think it is time to end stream. Thank you all for enduring my donut tangents. And feel free, I know I've mentioned the Discord, feel free to join the Discord if you aren't already and you'd like to be a member. There's no pressure at all to join the Discord, but just if you want to, feel free. And I'm glad for everybody who managed to pop along today and tune in, and I will see you all. I'm not going to raid anybody because I have to kind of dash, so I don't want to raid, and I'm not a big fan of raiding and running, so I'm going to avoid that today. But I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you all on Tuesday, I think. All right, everybody, bye!